Hello and welcome to another stream here at BPL. It's looking like it's going to be exciting as we head into the playoffs. One of the very first matches of the playoffs, no less. Unfortunately, we have had to say goodbye to quite a few teams with the group stages, unfortunately, concluding some great teams there. You can indeed catch some of their last moments, unfortunately, if you wish to shed a tear on some previous broadcasts in the VODs, so make sure to catch that. But these two teams, Bluerose and Hongsa, they are some of the top teams in their brackets, and it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams face off, because neither of these two teams have faced each other. But it's not the only match that we have going on today. We also have a couple of others with a possible stream on Beat Stream too.
Yeah, maybe dust off BPL 2 a little bit, maybe get in Demonetized in 6th Kingdom. Now, these are going to be kind of like tentative schedules, of course, because we are moving up from that first to 2. It is now first to 3 here in the playoffs, so a potential for these matches to go a little bit longer.
Absolutely. It does change a few little things. Last week, I predicted that we would be seeing a map 4 in the group stages on the final week, no less. And, well, I'll tell you how my prediction turned out, but how do you think my chances are of getting this prediction right, that we will see a reverse sweep in today's stream?
Ooh, well, like you mentioned already, Java, these are some pretty close teams, although they haven't played against each other. The standings here you can see coming from the Barbarian group, Bluerose at that number 2, and then from the Bard group, Hongsa at that number 3. So I think that we could potentially have a map 5 on our hands. Now, if it will be a reverse sweep, I don't know if I can say that for sure, but definitely hope for a really good match.
I certainly hope for a good match as well, and hopefully perhaps a draw on a hybrid map. Now, unfortunately, last week I did not get that wish, although we had 3 matches that did almost go to a draw and almost see a map 4. We did not see that, which I think just highlights just how close these teams are getting.
Yeah, and you can see here the bracket. So we're, of course, in upper round 1. And now this is a double elimination bracket for the playoffs. So the loser of this match will not be eliminated just yet. The winner, however, will have to wait a little bit to find out who they will be playing off against in that upper semifinals, because we do have that play-ins match between Flying Bugbears and those who crow. And then the winner of that will take on Hidden Kings. So a little bit of time for the winning team to sit and prepare for that upper semifinals.
Absolutely. And of course, you have a couple of victors already with a bye from Hidden Kings and Mango Nectar, doing really strong in the group stages that we saw before. But even if you lose here, you still got the chance with the lower brackets to make a run for it and maybe reach the grand finals too.
That's right. Yeah, this is getting ready to head into the lobby. So let's take a look at these rosters. If you're on the waiting screen, you maybe took a peek at some of these names already, but on Bluerose, who is going to be that higher seed, we have Foliage, Gala, Domination, Inari, Best Beans, 80, and Why Not here. So, of course, getting that number 2 standing over in the Barbarian division. This is a very strong team coming into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Quite a few of these players have quite a bit of experience too, having been nominated for Rookie of the Year, for example, by in the teams, a gala there, and also a couple of new players as well. Best Beans, I believe, is their first time playing in BPL, so I'm looking forward to see the kind of gameplay that they are going to be putting out today.
All right, yeah, me too. Now, on the other side of things, of course, it's going to be Hongsa, that number 3 seed coming in from the side of Bard. And I think worth mentioning as well is that the 2 teams that Hongsa did lose to were the Hidden King team and the Slime City Monarchs team. So although Hongsa is sitting at that number 3, 2-2 record, the 2 teams that they lost to are the 2 teams that are above them. Now for Bluerose, same thing here. The one team that Bluerose lost to is Mango Nectar, who is of course in that number 1 spot for the side of the Barbarians. So I think that on paper should be a very close match between these 2 teams.
Absolutely, but it's not the only team that we have in this epic dance that we're going to be seeing. With Hongsa, with Mara, Lux, always, they call me Basket, Gazd, and Riptide all joining the crew. Going to be facing off against Bluerose, and this team, they've got a few familiar faces that regulars might remember.
Yeah, definitely. I'm looking at Mara, Riptide, They Call Me M. I mean, these are all players that have been in BPL for quite a while. Mara even lending a hand on the production side of things. And I think that this should be a pretty strong team here. And I'm definitely interested to see some of the compositions that maybe come out from them because, yeah, Wisex maybe on the Junkrat. It is possible.
It certainly is possible. I have seen some juicy kills with that Riptide ultimate, and I hope to see even more of that. It's great to see some unusual heroes that you wouldn't really be able to see played, and yet it's all about having fun here as well. And as much as it is having great team communication and composition, these teams have been playing for quite a few weeks now, really trying to iron out any sort of little niggles in their teamwork as they had. But we do have a little bit of a change from the group stages with how the maps work.
Yeah, so of course in the group stage, the maps were set maps, and the teams knew each week what maps were going to be up. They had the time to kind of prepare and plan for very specific maps. But as we head into the playoffs, there's going to be a little bit more strategy involved because we do know the order that the maps have to be played in, but now we are going to have map selection in place, and the higher seeded team gets to pick that control map, and it looks like Bluerose want to take us to Lijiang.
Yes, it's a map that's been in the map pool for a very long time. One of my favorites of Control as well. It's got quite a few strong sub-maps that can be going in the favor of those who like to play Junkrat. And of course, it's not only the map that we get to choose, it's also the heroes that we get to ban. And seeing a Rein ban is something that I never thought I'd ever see in the current state of Overwatch.
I know that buff onto Reinhardt, he has a little bit more potential now in this patch, but of course we have to keep in mind as well that it is also a protect ban here, so does mean that Hongsa not going to be able to ban a tank here, so having to lean towards a DPS or a support instead. And you know, the tank really does kind of set the pace for a lot of these compositions, so I think that if Bluerose have a very specific comp in mind that they want to run, going for that protect ban will really ensure that they can get away with it.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of bans they're going to be coming out with from the DPS and support, but it looks like they are going with a Lucio ban, one of the main supports that has been a mainstay for such a long time, but we've been seeing a couple of new heroes added into the roster that really sort of trying to mix it up when it comes to the main support.
Yeah, and I've been seeing the Lucio get banned out more on this first map, in these control maps, more and more and more from these teams, and I really do think that it's like you say, Jaffa, that Lucio has been a mainstay for so long. Teams have been so prepared to run this Lucio Kiriko backline, especially on these control maps, on the Flashpoint maps. So a team that has another kind of composition to work with here, banning out the Lucio on map number 1 can sometimes really throw a wrench into the plan of the opponent.
Absolutely, and with the newest hero, Mizuki has been taking quite a bit of attention. Started off as a little bit of a oddball pick, but it's been seeing quite a bit of use recently. What do you make of that?
Yeah, the Mizuki definitely feels like such a great anti-dive support here. Reminds me a little bit of Brig when she was kind of first released and had the ability to really kind of solo duel tanks. Now, Mizuki, of course, going to be a little bit more fragile here, but that chain is such an effective form of CC. And then once you get your secondary perk as Mizuki, you can have actually like an aura speed for your team as well. So he can sort of work in a similar way to that Lucio.
Absolutely, but I've also been seeing a lot of Mizuki playing in a rather aggressive style, making use of that speed boost to find those off angles, and I'm surprised at how players have been able to adapt so quickly with this kind of character. It's not the way that I would have expected the direction to be taken by these players, but we've got a lot of other options available to us in terms of these compositions. So what kind of heroes do you think we might be seeing now that these bans are clear?
Yeah, and on Lijiang Tower here, I am expecting that we're probably going to see that Mizuki Kiriko backline. There is, of course, the option to maybe run the Jetpack Cat Bastion on certain points. I'm thinking, you know, Garden and Night Market was going to be a little bit easier to have that Bastion in the Skybox than Control Center would. On the side of like the tanks, I think that there is going to be a lot more kind of diversity in the options that are playable here. So, of course, not the Reinhardt, but definitely been seeing a lot of Sigma, Mauga, Ramatra is really kind of making a resurgence here. And then I think that Zarya is a really good kind of niche pick tank. If you have a tank player that's really kind of skilled and leans into that Zarya. Same thing goes for the DPS. I feel like right now there are lots of DPS options that are viable for these teams to play. So a lot of it is going to come down to just what the DPS players are most comfortable on.
Yeah, and it seems like these kind of heroes that have been chosen are, I feel like, a bit surprising. It's not the kind of DPS heroes that I would have chosen, but perhaps they are just trying to debate me, and that is normally what I might see from these kind of early hero picks. But I suppose a Pharah, makes sense in this kind of context.
Yeah, definitely could see it. Yeah, Mara, they are going to swap over onto that Pharah. Now, Bluerose much more opting for this kind of heavy frontline presence with the Mei, with the Orisa. Also, notably, C# is in here for Bluerose, and they are going to be ringing on this support role in form of 80.
Indeed, but this fight is already getting started with Domination going in deep, but they're making great use of this Mabel to try and isolate the tag, a crucial part of this player, but unfortunately it's not going to work out for Bluerose this time around. Hongsa able to pick up the kill on their own, and well, with so few players remaining, Bluerose just have to back up and give the first capture point over.
Yeah, this is great for Hongsa to start with here, especially on this kind of poke damage composition with the Pharah, the Sojourn, the Sigma. Even Basket and Riptide on these supports are going to be able to do so much pressure onto Bluerose. We're going to see Domination make the swap off of Orisa pretty much right away here, and Fuchsia's actually going to go over onto Cassidy, try and help with Mara on this Pharah.
Absolutely, and I really do hope they will be able to try and do that damage and help, but unfortunately, despite the help of this Maywall, they're just not able to find the kill on their counterparts. The opening is there, but it just wasn't able to truly be able to finish off in that execution. Hongsa able to find the save there, but using the abilities that they have available to them, trying to lock down this tank of Wobble, trying to allow them to pressure and make some progress, but the Pharah is able to try and find a couple of kills. The Grabflux, though, is online, is able to find a couple of members. Are they ever going to capitalize on it? One goes down. Surely they're going to be finding another, as this Sigma is so isolated, but somehow stays alive in all of this. But it's not going to matter. They are going to be able to push in there through the help of Mara on the flank, and they're able to find the two and secure that lead a little bit longer.
Riptide cleaning things up with a little 3K there, but yeah, excellent job here from Hongsa to really kind of focus down specific targets, and that's going to be so important with this poke composition. Robbie gets the flux up, connects onto two, and immediately both of those targets are going to end up falling here, and now Hongsa's approaching last fight territory here, and they have so many ults to work with.
And those ultimates are being popped here by Hongsa, but unfortunately Bluerose, they lose a player already with that ultimate, not able to utilize it in time. The capture point, it's still ticking. Bluerose choosing to regroup early, which I think is the right choice here. Going in now, using the abilities of the Sigma as much as they can, but the ultimate here of Mara is raining down, tries to find a kill, is trying to find the save as well from the Mizuki, but just isn't enough. They are able to get overtime, the touch comes through. Will this Deadeye find the number that they need? The few members of Hongsa remaining to try and keep this going. Oh, but Hongsa, they lose a couple of members. Bluerose have equalized in this. They have a few members on each side, but it's just not going to be going down, at least for now, because Bluerose, they have the player advantage. They have those reinforcements coming in. They didn't need to use that Deadeye, but they did have to invest a number of ultimates, and yet it's not looking good for them, at least at the moment.
No, Hongsa, I mean, I like the idea to try and take an early fight there. They commit the Kitsune Rush, they commit the Barrage to try and stop Bluerose in that choke point. But Foliage over on the Xion is going to have so much mobility, so manages to trigger that overtime here for Bluerose. But like you mentioned, it costs Bluerose everything to get in there. They're holding on to this Deadeye, which is massive, but Hongsa can play slow here. They can build up the Flux, they can build up to this Overclock and the Rush. Bluerose are going to have to try and find an early pick in this fight, try and build up ults of their own before Hongsa just run them down.
They really do need to find an early pick here in this early part of the fight. These two teams start to come together, trying to find the opportunity, the trigger for them to push in. They are certainly looking for it. Hongsa, they spend the time building their ults. They're using the Sigma ults as well. Not able to find anyone, but are able to isolate. Couple of kills come through. It's not looking for Bluerose. They're trying to use their dead ults here to try and find a kill. Finds one onto the tank. Is this the reversal that they need? Unfortunately, it might not be, because these DPS are coming in and getting those kills, getting in the clutch, and now it is overtime. Bluerose have very few options available to them. Only the support of the Mizuki here. They touch just long enough to try and touch the point, but it's not gonna matter. They keep them away, and that is the first round won for Hongsa.
Yeah, and a good warm-up maybe here for Bluerose, but Hongsa just looks so coordinated in their push efforts. I mean, we see that they're just playing the corners, waiting to build up to their ults, and then it's just a rush onto point, and then the Flux, and all of the damage follow-up just coming on to those ultimates here. So great teamwork from Hongsa to start up a point here on Lijiang Tower, as we are going to see couple of swaps here for Bluerose. I think that this is going to be smart for them, trying to find kind of the counter out to Hongsa on this heavy poke composition. But just looking at the submap that we're going into next, Control Center, it is going to be a lot harder for Mara to stick on that Pharah. So they are going to actually still work with it. So Bluerose is going to have to be very aware of that Pharah in the sky, and probably want to stay clear of any of the edges here on this map.
Definitely will want to be trying to stay clear of those edges, but Bluerose are taking this high ground. They aren't trying to find any particular kill. They only really have a couple of options available against this Pharah, though. But they are trying their absolute best, and they do have the high ground, at least for now. Hongsa playing these corners once again, trying to play slow. Hongsa building up their ultimates. They're currently matched, though, on pace, at least for now. If this fight just continues to go on, no definitive kills just yet, but Bluerose, they're going low on their health.
Yeah, they really need to find a way to use this Mei. They need to find a target to wall, and Bully just going for a long angle here, but all the while, Hongsa has now picked up this point, so Bluerose really now need to make a move, because the longer this fight goes on, the better it is for Hongsa.
Oh, but the first pick is found by Bluerose. A repeat perhaps of the previous fights as they find the kills that they need, but unfortunately for them, Mara is on the flank trying to whittle down these health of Bluerose, but it's just not going to matter because they work as a team and pick up the kills, capture the point, and then it's a 5-1 for Bluerose.
Yeah, good stuff from Bluerose. You know, maybe a little hesitant to necessarily push too far into Hongsa, but they must have seen the cooldown come out that they were waiting for, and a great collapse onto Hongsa. I think for Foliage to kind of take that angle on the Mei, go out towards Coast, it's a little bit risky, but it really did pay off for them, especially because there's going to be so many ults coming online for Bluerose now.
Oh, really? There are so many ultimates. This Mei Ice is trying their best to zone them out. Another ultimate as well from the Mizuki, trying to keep their players alive from the onslaught. But unfortunately, Hongsa, they've already lost 2 players. And they're just not going to win this fight, despite their best efforts. Even though Bluerose, well, honestly, I think they did really well. What do you think?
I think they did fantastic there. They just committed in the Blizzard from Foliage here. Now, Mara is off of the Pharah over on to the Mei, so there is going to be a little bit more strength in the front line for Hongsa.
They really are going to be capitalizing this, though. Oh, Bluerose, they are using this just mechanical prowess, though, Fuchsia, with the overclock to pick up the kills that they need, and now they have a slight advantage on this capture progress.
Yeah, and Hongsa used the Kitsune Rush in that fight as well. So Bluerose are going to have this Flux, they're going to have the Kikai Sanctuary to work with here. Right now, Hongsa need to get some space because you really want to get Lux set up, maybe on an angle here with a Gravitic Flux of their own.
They are able to find a couple. Will they be able to capitalize on it, though? There is a Mizuki in the backline going for a bit of a flank, trying to find the picks that they need. They're going to use a grab ultimate of their own, trying to find the opportunities that they need. Lux on the flank again as well, trying to use this overclock, but it's just not going to matter. They get outbested by Best Beans. And now this fight is looking rather tight for these two teams. They've used a lot of their resources in this early fight. A switch as well from Hongsa as the capture point gets closer and closer to 99%. Overtime is triggered, but Domination is able to just stay on that tiptoe for long enough. But Hongsa, they're bringing out the victory. They had the advantage in resources there.
Yeah, I think that Mara still being alive in that fight to fight alongside Robbie there made a massive difference. And then Riptide on the Mizuki has just looked so fantastic. The chains have pretty much all gone on to Domination. And I mean, I mentioned it in the last sub point. Hongsa just does a really great job with target focus. So as soon as that chain comes out, Bluerose lose their tank in the fight. But Bluerose only need to win one more fight here. Unfortunately, they're already starting down one.
They really are starting down one. This aggression from Hongsa is different from before. They're able to pick up an early pick onto Bluerose. Looks finding yet another onto the tank. And, oh, this isn't looking unfortunate. Using the Ice Wall to try and escape, but it's not enough to lose two members. That's an ult charge you're just giving away to Hongsa.
Yep, that's exactly it. And Lux is over on this Xion now as well. I think that was a swap to just try and get back to the point quickly, but working out really well, able to hold an angle on his own as this Xion and has that get out of jail free card. Bluerose gonna be having to push into a blizzard, and they're running out of time here, Jaffa.
They really are. They might have been able to use that to stall for time, but this overclock is trying to break through this use. But they are able to use the Mizuki ult this to prevent all of that damage that could have come from that overclock, really nullifying the opportunity. They are able to get a Mei onto the point, try and flip this point, but they are losing members. Best Beans has gone down. Hongsa, they've lost two of their own members as well, but they are all able to focus down this Sigma, this Mei, using their ability to just stay alive for so long and prevent their death. It's just going to really add to the pain as Bluerose pick up that first map. Sorry, this second round even, and it is now the third round in this map. And how do you think this control map is going to go? Because there is just one final sub-map remaining, and these two teams, they've been going back at it between each other for quite a while.
I do think that on paper, Bluerose was kind of set to win Control Center, where you're going to have an easier time on this Mei composition. Mara had to swap off of that Pharah, but as we head into the third map here on Lijiang Tower Garden, this is where you can bring the Pharah back out here and be very, very impactful. So we are going to see Mara is on the sim. I think just the TP at a spawn here for Hongsa, and then, yeah, back over onto the Pharah. But Bluerose are pulling out Domination on the Roadhog here. So this is going to be a big difference compared to that Sigma. Bluerose now really kind of playing for this pick potential. So they need to move pretty quickly in these fights because, again, Hongsa has all this poke damage that they can force these cooldowns out of Bluerose really fast. But if Domination can land a hook early on, it's a very big advantage for Bluerose to have.
It really can be a huge advantage to force out all of those utility far too early, and they can really apply tremendous pressure. But unfortunately, what's going to be applying far more pressure is losing members. 3 down for Hongsa. This is not looking like a good early fight. They're trying to go for that hog kill to secure the victory, but I mean, how on earth did they achieve that?
Absolutely incredible team kill nonetheless here for Bluerose, and they just good job in the pathing. Honestly, love them walking around kind of the white room there, maybe anticipating that Mara was going to be back over on this Pharah. So I think that taking the pathway that's inside, you don't have to worry about all the poke damage. Very smart for them, and as long as they can kind of force these fights towards the point, they should be able to hold on to it. But Domination walking a little bit too far.
Really seems to be pushing them just a little bit there. Losing that tank has really lost all of their damage sponge that they really need. And Mara is just going absolutely hammer, getting 3k already, possibly a 4. That might be play of the game that they are seeking out right there.
Ooh, yeah, I think that's well deserved if it is play of the game. Mara gonna have the barrage online. It's gonna be the first ult on the board here for Hongsa. Bluerose, though, they are gonna have this this blizzard and both those support ults coming online as well. As we can see, once again, they're gonna path towards this white room. So Blue-Rice right now are looking to force a fight on the point so they can make best use of this blizzard.
That blizzard is going to be looking for some value here. They have a little bit of difficulty going up against a couple of these ultimates because this Pharah is looking for a barrage. They find a kill. Can they find a second? No, they take themselves out. Trying to find another opportunity here for Bluerose as they try and turn this around with their massive ultimates at their disposal. They commit 2 ultimates, forcing Hongsa to use a third of their own. But it's not looking too good because it doesn't matter. The hook is not a projectile, not getting blocked by that ultimate of poor Mizuki. And now with Gala here, trying to get those kills, finds them and is able to flip the point all by committing their ultimate. 2 ultimates committed from Bluerose, and while Hongsa, they weren't able to find value from their 3.
No, I mean, and the massive thing here for Bluerose is having both those support ults still ready to go. That Kikai Sanctuary going to be excellent at kind of stopping this incoming damage that Hongsa has, and that's really what this is all about. All of the damage coming in from the Pharah, even going to find the... No way that hits! Oh, Robbie, that is so unfortunate.
Unfortunate, but I love that. That is cinema to me. These are the kind of moments I just absolutely adore in Overwatch. It is an unfortunate but early end to Hanzo's fight. They only have a fight remaining here in the ring, and they only have a couple of ultimates as well.
And Hongsa is interestingly actually going to make the same rotation that Bluerose has been making, including Mara. So right now they're looking to just make this Kitsune rush pathway to the point, but once again the hook, it connects.
Oh no, with the hook connecting, they've lost one of their most crucial members in this battle. They have the Kitsune Rush available, they used it and it's expired. They're just not going to be able to gain any value out of that now that they have lost such a crucial member. But Bluerose, they have now 4 ultimates at their disposal to keep them away. Domination, finding another kill. Hongsa, unfortunately, just not going to be able to get the chance to break into this onslaught of ultimates that Bluerose had built. I think really, I mean, maybe I'm wrong here, but Bluerose, they won. They were playing for the next fight and they were winning it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think that they that the swap onto the Roadhog, unconventional, but definitely Bluerose adapted their playstyle to fit this comp really, really well. And, you know, I came in to this third point on Garden thinking that the Pharah composition should, on paper, have the upper hand here, but the positional advantages that Bluerose were taking by just playing inside, away from the LOS of that Pharah, and then also just hitting really impressive hooks on that Roadhog. Fantastic stuff here for Bluerose to start up 1 in the series.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a strong start. I loved that Roadhog pick, though. As much as it is an unconventional choice, as you said, I just, you know what? One of the main reasons that always brings me back to BPL is these unconventional picks working. Right, I have seen Reinhardt on Gibraltar out of all the maps working, and you know what? I think just anything can work at this point. Some people say it's only true at lower elos, but clearly that's not the case. BPL has, to me, shown that that is not the case. But Hongsa, they have been put a little bit on the back foot. It is their turn to pick the next map in this series, and it's going to be a hybrid map. So what kind of maps do you think that they're going to choose?
Yeah, I'm wondering if they want to lean into Mara kind of or on these more, let's say, like the stronger projectile hero maps. Not necessarily going to run the Pharah again, but I think that looking at the options that we have available, I mean, Neon Junction, the newest map here, if you team that has practiced Neon Junction a decent amount, that could give you the upper hand here, where, you know, maybe some teams are more so sticking to perhaps that Face It League map pool that doesn't quite have the Neon Junction in there just yet. Or, okay, instead it is going to be a Nambani selection out in for map 2, and I mean, it's a classic dive map here, so I gotta think that Hongsa are going to probably be leaning into that.
Yeah, that's absolutely a likely outcome. Nambani, although my least favorite map, is definitely one that is very dive heavy, and as you can see from the map stats as well, Nambani is the map that Hongsa have managed to succeed on out of these other choices. You probably don't want to go to Kings Row or Midtown. It's not maps that you necessarily had to prepare for in their group stage because of the selection of maps that were gone through in the group stage. So do you want to pick the Unjudged where you lost? Probably not. Go for Numbani, right? You've got that dive composition, right, that you're probably quite confident in. You've clearly won it before, so why not go back there again?
Yeah, I think it makes the most sense. You know, they've only played 2 hybrid maps and they lost Neon Junction. So, you know, just go with whatever one feels like it's going to be the strongest here. Of course, they are going to have the hero ban as well, which I think will be pretty impactful, especially if they want to kind of empower a specific composition. Or, you know, we could potentially see a protect ban come through. Oh, actually, okay, Bluerose is going to have the first hero ban. And yeah, that is a straight target onto Mara.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Mara was doing such tremendous amounts of work in that previous map. They were able to find a lot of angles and positions where they could really make great use of their hero, and there's a lot of damage to Bluerose. And with this kind of map as well, Numbani, it makes no surprise because Farah can be an absolute powerhouse, even more enabled by the geometry of Numbani.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. There's so much high ground to work around. The skyboxes are pretty high as well, so the fire can really kind of just hide around the corners in the sky. So this is going to be an adjustment here for Mara. I'm interested to see what they're going to play instead, because the other hero that we saw them play was the Mei, which you're probably, you know, you could potentially try and force it here on Numbani, but like we've been talking about, it's a pretty dive favored map. We tend to more see Echo or Genji, perhaps a Tracer. So we'll have to see the adjustment that comes through for Hongsa. We'll also have to see what hero ban Hongsa are going to go for in response, because of course they're going to have to go for a ban onto a tank or a support here, which I would argue, if you're not going for a very targeted ban, is kind of a stronger ban to have here, because those tanks and supports are definitely going to control the composition a little bit more than what a DPS would.
You're definitely right about that with these bans. And I think teams as well, they've been really developing their skills with choosing the right kind of tactical bans, as this part of a new phase of Overwatch really develops, and choosing the right kind of composition here can really be interesting. I wonder what sort of heroes they might be going for. They might choose to ban that Mizuki, which can be a powerful main support against dive compositions.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We saw so much of the chain from Mizuki going straight on to the tank, and of course on any map we would expect to see that as well. I think that if you want to run the dive, yeah, thinking about, you know, what can you go for a counter dive here, if it's going to be maybe a Mizuki, a Brig. Nope, it is going to be a tank ban coming through. So this, I think, is a little bit less so about kind of protecting the composition that you want to run, and a little bit more about shutting down the opposing tank.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a strong choice. With that Sigma ban, right, you are really kind of disabling a lot of the... I mean... I don't know. I'm a little bit unsure about this. Yeah. Sure, Bluerose, you know, they were doing a great job with that, but out of all the tanks that you could really play on Numbani, yes, you are going to be having some great utility available to you, but with the problem with Sigma is just how sort of, as I like to describe it, the RPG stat points have been assigned to Sigma, very much in the poke orientation, and as soon as you kind of get on Sigma, it becomes a lot easier to deal with them.
Yeah, I agree as well. And I mean, you know, Sigma can get up to that, I believe it's the major perk where he has a little bit of vertical movement, but it doesn't amount to any kind of speed. It's really just an up or down type of thing here. So I do think that it's not that hard to maneuver around a Sigma if you're on a kind of a larger map like Numbani here, but hey, Sigma definitely could have a pretty big lock on the first point specifically, where there's some pretty narrow choke points that the attacking team will have to walk through. So We will have the Sigma off the board here. The Pharah gone as well. Bluerose on the defense here. So we do know that this is the composition they're going to start with for the first point. And looks like we're going to get to see a little bit of Winston and then a little bit of a throwback as well to the Ana Brig, which I don't feel like we get to see that a whole lot anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, we really don't get to see that a lot anymore. You know, it makes me wonder whether that Sigma ban was somehow I am sorry, I still can't make any sense of that Sigma ban. I mean, sure, I guess a lot of things have been made to work on all sorts of maps. I said earlier that I've seen Reinhardt on, Gibraltar out of all maps. So it's going to be interesting to see anyway how these two teams fight it down as they are already starting to poke out each other.
Yeah, all right. We are going to have Mara over on this Freya since that Pharah's out of the mix here. So that's going to be big damage potential against domination on this Winston. And we can already see Hongsa taking a lot of space here already up on the high ground of Bluerose.
Yeah, and these two teams are kind of jumping into the back line. They're trying to get a little bit of charge, a little bit of health, try and build up these ultimates for these teams at the moment. They haven't fully committed to a dive just yet, but unfortunately for domination, they are going to be going low. But perhaps that is going to be good for their supports, who are going to be getting an opportunity to build up a lot of ult charge, a lot of healing. These teams, though, they are losing a lot of health rather quickly, and Hongsa, they lose one of their players, Mara, a crucial player, but domination goes down. That's their tank from Bluerose, a crucial member in any type composition, any composition at all. And now the signal is clear. These fights are coming out as the backline, frontline are juking it out. Hongsa coming out on top.
All right, yeah, that's a pretty healthy time bank as well. More than 5 minutes here. Hongsa just pushed straight into Bluerose, and although Bluerose had the Brig, they had the Reaper, a lot of kind of anti-dive potential here, that long-range damage from Mara just bursted down domination so quickly that Bluerose didn't really have a chance to react here. And I do like domination making the swap over onto the Diva. You're going to be able to do a little bit more pressure on to Robbie on this Winston, and you're going to be able to eat up some of that damage from Mara on this Freya.
Yeah, absolutely. The Diva is a little bit stronger into this matchup against the Winston as well, and being able to have those utilities, and especially that remake for rehealth that you have as an ultimate, you can really prolong the fight and really just change the scores of a things. But unfortunately, they're not going to have much of an option. Hongsa have unfortunately gone down already, all the while I was yapping, and that was a dominant victory for for Bluerose in that fight, but it doesn't seem like this monkey is going to be giving up just yet.
No, and they're creeping this payload forward. They get the DMAC onto domination as well. So in the long extended fight, Hongsa does come out on top there. They only have to commit the Primal Rage as well. And Bluerose, they threw that nano onto domination, but wasn't able to find an elimination from it. So now Bluerose is going to be scrambling to try and recontest the second point.
Absolutely, and this is a second point that they must really try and contest here. They got their ultimates available. They want to try and eke them out as much as possible, but Gala is able to pick up one kill for now. Will the rest of the team be able to capitalize? Reaper going up high, maybe looking for a Blossom, but isn't able to find any. Gets pushed off rather quickly despite trying to get the support of their Diva. Rani comes out, gets stunned. Oh, a beautiful stun onto the Genji. They're not able to convert this into kills just yet, but they are going to be forced into a reset. They are just losing far too much health. Beautiful whip shot from Beast Beans onto Wobble there, and that is a team fight win for Bluerose. Hongsa, unfortunately, struggling a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, 4 ultimates from Bluerose. There's not a whole lot Hongsa could do, or 3 ultimates committed in. Yeah, Hongsa, I mean, I like that they held on to both of these DPS ultimates here, especially now that the rally is out from Best Speeds, because Wisex is going to have more or less a free blade here. Only thing is, Bluerose probably aware that this blade is online, so they're going to be playing fairly split up on that high ground, so it's going to be hard to kind of get those dash reset kills, which means that Bluerose have an opportunity to maybe hold this a little longer.
You really don't want to be giving them the opportunity to find those kills, but unfortunately it is going to be a pause. I'm not entirely sure what has gone on there, unfortunately, for one of these players. Technical difficulties perhaps, but one of these teams has some experience with this, and I hope that their coaching of their previous match has gone well on Numbani.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit kind of in the chat that yeah, the last, although Hongsa did win Numbani, it was a 5-4 victory, so they had to fight kind of all the way through this map. So they've got a lot of time on it at least, and so far they are pretty close to capping second point here. They still haven't used either of these DPS ultimates, and finding that pick on to the Brigitte really is a big opportunity here for them to maybe push this payload into that second point.
Yeah, I really hope they are able to push that into the second point. They've been able to make so much progress, and that's one of the key points in Overwatch. It's not just the team fights, it's also cart progress, and Hongsa seem to be making good cart progress for now. The Genji Blade is able to come out. That time of thinking has come to fruition. Able to find one kill, but isn't able to find any others. The bomb is able to come out, but doesn't find any picks. Isn't able to remake either. And now that is looking like a successful cart push for Hongsa, with an unfortunate DC from a Bluerose.
Yeah, the best beans back into the mix now, though. Hongsa, 3.5 minutes, moving into the third point here. We are going to see the Roadhog swap come out. Domination back over on this hero. Going to be fitting here for the third point, where it's going to be much more favored towards these kind of ground brawls.
Absolutely, and Domination is currently going on a little bit of an opportunity spree. Found one opportunity, looking for a second, misses the hook, no! But is able to push the team all the way back to their spawn, and they're going to have to be backing up, not able to find a second kill to prolong that cheeky little fight. Oh, not able to do enough damage, though, onto that monkey, but I don't know, looking for someone else, and they might not be able to find it, but these ultimates are coming online. They're being used. Basket, Riptide, using both of these supporters at the same time, and well, all the while Hongsa are able to find kills on Bluerose. They're losing the core of their team, and there's just no one available at this point in time. But this last push is getting closer and closer.
Yeah, Gala used the Bob there to try and prevent Hongsa from pushing forward with that Katsune Rush, but just a little bit too late there, and Hongsa building up to this Bola here from Mara. Wisex building up to another Blade as well. Best Beans is going to have to come in clutch with this rally to stop this cap from happening.
Oh, that is a brutal trade. Unfortunately, it was not successful in getting that kill onto the Winston, but this is going to be trying their best to turn it around, and it seems like it was enough effort from Bluerose here with an ultimate to turn it around. Hongsa, unfortunately, not being able to commit, having committed both of their support roles previously.
Yeah, right. That's so unfortunate for them, and especially because this time bank is getting whittled down here by Bluerose. Now, they still have Robbie over on this Winston as well. It is pretty common for us to, okay, yeah, see tanks make a swap on third point, so it's going to move over onto the Ramatra here. It's going to be a lot harder, hopefully, for Domination to land those hooks on the Roadhog now, and Mara going to find the better of Fuchsia there, so this is go time now for Hongsa.
Oh, absolutely. They have found their opening pick there onto Fuchsia, aka Gala, and they are going to be trying to find another opportunity here, but the Blossom comes out, trying to find a kill, isn't able to get booped up into the air. Hongsa, they are looking so low here on 3 of their members. And now with the Tango and Roadhog finding the pig, 1 minute left in the time bank. Then 5 minutes has been whittled down, time after time. And Bluerose, they're looking pretty good, but they only have one ultimate available to them.
Yeah, Gala has come back with a vengeance on this Freya, finding the opening pick on Namara, and that fight was massive. And this Bola, a lot riding on it here. Now, that Blade almost ready to go here from Wisex. I don't think that the Bola necessarily going to be the counter you're looking for with this Blade. So you're really going to try to target maybe the Kiriko, because that Kitsune Rush also a fight-winning ultimate here for Hongsa.
It is also a team-winning fight here for them. They are going to be using this Genji Blade, are able to find a 1 for now, but Domination is on a streak of their own, able to find 2, no ult needed from them. Genji Blade ends, unfortunately, but now it is just Domination remaining. The rest of Bluerose are nowhere to be seen, not able to provide the support that they need, and now it is just last-minute little touches here from Bluerose, trying to find the opportunity that they need. Kitsune Rushes are being traded out with both teams. The opportunity here is available to Hongsa should they be able to take it. Doomfist is coming up. Venture is coming up for the extra time on the stall, but it's just not going to be enough here for Bluerose. Hongsa able to use the beat as well, keep them alive, extra health, prevent them from getting those kills, and this absolute brawl is just unfortunately not going the way of Bluerose. Hongsa are able to get the win. The stall does not work for Bluerose.
It doesn't prevent the cap, but it does get it into overtime. And on the hybrid maps, that is really important. Hongsa have an opportunity to maybe play for a draw. We were kind of talking before that we haven't necessarily seen a draw happen just yet, but it is absolutely possible, especially if Hongsa can now complete Nimbani with time in the bank.
One draw a day keeps my voice in check as these two teams are certainly on track for a potential draw. It would not be the most best result for Hongsa, shall we say, with that historical record of going 5-4 on this map, but they were looking rather strong on that attack, at least to start off with, really knowing how to apply their advantage. But in the end, on that final point, Bluerose, they were able to whittle down the time so much by using the high ground, by using the Roadhog, which is an interesting choice, but Hongsa eventually coming out on top. Just kind of, what do you make of their choices there from both of those teams?
I think that Bluerose with the swap onto the Roadhog, like as soon as third point happened, I mean, that was really smart from him. I think that recognizing kind of the lack of availability for a dive on that point early on really helped them get that time bank down. Robbie eventually does make that swap over onto the Ramatra as well, but it is not that much time left in the bank here. So I think that right now, Hongsa, they're going to be leaning heavily on trying to have a very good first point hold. This is going to be probably their best point to try and whittle down this time bank because they have better control of the high ground here, because domination is back over on the Roadhog. Foliage is going to be over on the Xion as well. So not as much vertical mobility here for Bluerose to work with.
No, there is not much of mobility. Roadhog, not exactly a famous character for being able to wall climb. I'm not entirely sure how these teams are going to be going about it. Unfortunately, Bluerose, just by the inevitability of their composition, their entire team is left kind of by themselves, and it's going to allow Hongsa here to whittle down a couple of their members. But they are going to have to change their focus onto this Roadhog, who's just been, unfortunately, going a little bit wild, leaving space here for Foliage to get up and rack up those kills. That time bank that they might have been trying to stall out is unfortunately not exactly happening, going their way. Hongsa are losing the first point just as quickly as they were able to capture it the first time around.
Oh, and that is so big from Domination to just stay alive on this Roadhog. Now for Hongsa, you don't really have anyone that's going to be able to burst this Roadhog down except for maybe Mara on this Freya. So the play is to go for the squishy targets instead. And Hongsa did that, but not fast enough. Too much space was taken by Bluerose. That really opened the field up for Gala on this Ashe to find the damage here. So they're going to start moving this payload. I think that they had just as much time as Hongsa did on their first point cap here. And a little bit of a difference here is that Bluerose is taking so much space right now. They're going to leave C-Sharp onto the cart to get a little bit of progress. Bluerose is going to take all this, allow Gala and Foliage to get set up. Robbie, and make this swap over onto the Orisa here. So not going to pair super well with the other DPS, but a lot more survivability.
A tremendous amount of survivability. Orisa has got one of the best kits in the game for that, and they are doing a great work here with the rest of their team to find the opportunities. Unfortunately, Bluerose, you do not want you want them to be set up, but unfortunately, Hongsa, they were able to, at least kick them out, and that is exactly what they were able to do so. But they have a lot of ultimates online as the fight finally breaks out. They were able to reclaim that space. Domination, is able to get up that kill with the Roadhog. Riptide using that ult of their own to try and shut down any and all, trying to force them into this little room, and it's not going the way here of Bluerose, but they are able to capture the point, force them away. Losing some of those key members is disastrous as they start to make some more progress.
Yeah, Riptide used that Kikai Sanctuary to try and counter out the Bob from Gala, but unfortunately Bob was standing in the Sanctuary, so none of that damage was blocked here. Hongsa's gonna have to rely on this Terra Surge, the DPS ults that are coming online to try and slow down this push.
Oh, beautiful attempt there on the kill. He's able to get the kill onto Foliage, and that should be more than enough to open up an opportunity for them to find a few more. Mara finding the second, and they are going to be forced back with their only real chance of a win in that fight being deleted.
Yeah, Mara has just looked so fantastic on this Freya. They're doing a great job setting up on the high ground kind of over and over again, making sure that they're always ready to put the damage in whenever Bluerose is getting set up to walk in. Bluerose are going to have domination move over, match this Orisa, so this is going to pair a little bit more nicely with the Xion. It's and headshot coming through. That is the opening that Bluerose needed.
That is the opening they need indeed. They're using it as much as they possibly can to try and push this. They're getting card progress, trying to chip away at the health. See Sharp able to find a kill onto Riptide. Another member goes down. That's the main support. Basket is solo as well. But they are able to survive, recoup, jump back away from the danger. But Mara is able to find and try and change the tides here of Hongsa. They are trying to use the abilities that they are afforded to them as Orisa, but it's just not going to be enough. There's just not the right opportunities available for them. They might be looking for it, but they're just not finding them at the moment. They have the ultimates, but the Spy is just starting to peter out, but they're looking for another advantage to really keep this going.
Yeah, they have the ults here. They really just need to maybe pop the Kitsune Rush. They have that Kitsune Rush advantage. Instead, Gala is going to start with the bomb. This time, the Kikai Sanctuary going to work out for Riptide.
It certainly looks like it's turning the way of Hongsa this time. Best Beans trying their best, but unfortunately the Genji Blade is just going to be able to get right up into the face, finds one, but they are able to trade out here on against Hongsa, who unfortunately do not have the same abilities available to them. They've used them already in the earlier parts of the fight. They found the opportunity for Bluerose, and Bluerose, they took it.
They did, absolutely, yeah. Capping up the second point. Good amount of time in the time bank. Maybe not quite as much as Hongsa had, but you're on the composition already that you're probably going to want to run on third point here. Having the Kitsune Rush still to work with, massive here for Bluerose as well, because Basket doesn't have that to try and match here. You could potentially combo that with that Setsuki Spree that's available from Foliage. He's already set up on the angle, looking like he's ready to go in.
I hope that they certainly are. They're going to be trying to use this bike, though, to get away from this ultimate here. Now it finally gets popped, trying to look for a kill on the sideline. Is able to find one. Should be a more than enough value here. They're forcing all of Hongsa onto the left-hand side. They are pushing this car more and more forward, and they are going to have only one choice left remaining. It's going to be popped out away from this, but they are just going to be using all the utility that is afforded to them to great effect to really annihilate Hongsa there. The bike coming out, the health pool there just whittled down by the just constant onslaught. They knew exactly where they were. They were penned in. There was no choice available for them. And it is now 3-3, but Bluerose, they have 1 minute 50 on the time bank here going into the second round, having pushed Hongsa into that overtime that you mentioned earlier on their attack.
Yeah, Hongsa, unfortunately, playing for a draw right now. If they can stop Bluerose from getting a tick, they'll be awarded a draw. But yeah, almost 2 minutes here. Bluerose have to just get one tick on first point of Nabani. Look at 17k damage here for Mara. Although, you know, Gala putting in equal numbers here. I think that big shout out, I think, to the Flex DPS players from both of these teams. And also big shout out to Freya and just how much damage that hero is able to put out.
Absolutely. I mean, it is a hero that I have quite enjoyed watching. You have a lot of opportunities with how the hero can play, and you can really, it's a bit of an, I wouldn't say it's a niche character per se, but I mean, I'm sure you probably have a better description for the viewers.
I think that Freya works really awesomely because she plays a little bit like a Reaper in the sense of the burst damage and how much of a tank buster she is, but she has twice the amount of mobility that a Reaper would have, and she has an ult that isn't, you know, press Q and die kind of an ult here. So we actually aren't going to see a Freya for either one of these teams here. Hongsa on the defense are going to move back over onto that Winston. Mara over on the Sojourn here. Bluerose opting for a little bit more of a slow kind of push composition with this Orisa and that Ashe.
And unfortunately for Hongsa, it's not looking good already. They're off to a bad start. Losing one player already, trying to force them out. This is not looking too good for them. They do not want to allow them to get over to this first capture point. But it is not looking like that is going their way as Bluerose, in decisive fashion, capture the first point. There is no draw to be seen on Hybrid this time around, but it is a fight that was not going Hongsa's way early on.
No, and you know, I kind of anticipated Bluerose was going to be able to get that tick, only because neither one of these teams had a very good first point defense. It really did feel like the attacking team kind of just wandered into first point Nimbani for both of those times, but Bluerose on that Orisa comp, able to find the first pick, and when you only need 33% on the board, one pick is sometimes all the time that you need.
It really is all that you need to really open up those defensive formations of a defending team. And if your defensive options are already a little bit weak, as it seems to be the case on this map from these two teams, then things just really start to crumble, unfortunately. By having that tank just kind of sit there as well in the point, you're really forcing them to make a move that is just not really in their favor. With the survivability of Orisa, you can just sit there and do nothing, and yet you're winning because of that. I mean, that's kind of how you end up playing tank, but I mean, I don't know what you think though, although I do love the fact that you threw some shade there at Reaper over that ultimate of press Q and just you know, everyone just goes, oh wow, look at this free target, I can just, you know, keep my view. Oh what a shame.
Yeah, but, Reaper players thought they were going to live through their ult when they got the lifesteal added onto it, but unfortunately, not the case.
Unfortunately not. Does feel like it's the trend at the moment with how these new heroes have been added in the DPS, at least, sort of trying to slot them in a little bit between other heroes, and perhaps that's because of the recent hero bans, but that is not really something that is my forte to talk about. But Ray, what do you think of this match so far?
So far, so good here. Bluerose up 2-0. It does mean that they are at a series point. So we are going to give these teams a little bit of a break, a little bit of a reset. Hongsa gonna come back for that potential reverse sweep after this break.
Hello and welcome back from our short little break, giving the teams a little bit of a rest, recuperation perhaps, and maybe some time to think over their strategies going into the next few maps. But I am here for the reverse sweep. I called it at the beginning, and maybe we might have some luck seeing it here. But the first map has already been chosen by Hongsa. It is going to be New Queen Street. And Rain, what do you think the ban is going to be?
See, yeah, we were talking a little bit about this. You know, if they're looking to maybe go for a little bit of a target ban, something that's been giving them some trouble, I think that Hongsa have an opportunity to ban the Roadhog. We saw it on Nimbani, we saw it on Lijiang Tower. Both times it felt like Bluerose was taking that tank out when their backs were kind of against the wall, when Hongsa really had an opportunity to swing things in their favor. But Bluerose are going to have the first hero ban here, so they could potentially go for a tank protect ban, stopping that hog from being banned out if they anticipate that that could be coming through.
Yeah, and going for the first ban there, going for a tank would be advantageous to prevent that hog ban, which I am almost certain is going to be coming through. But no, they go for that Freya, which, as you said before, is a strong hero, has a lot of opportunities in that kind of DPS and just outputting a tremendous amount. You got a lot of ability to be very mobile as well, a trend that seems to be increasingly popular within the DPS. But a Roadhog ban does indeed come out from Hongsa. They are giving up that ban there by Bluerose, from Bluerose, by not banning a tank, which I find interesting.
I do find it interesting, but I think that, yeah, up against Mara that just put out some really stellar numbers, a stellar performance on Nimbani, I think that going into New Queen Street, which is one of the really long-range push maps with a long sight line, I think that the Freya could be detrimental to Bluerose here. So banning that out, taking it out of the hands of Mara, forcing them to go over onto maybe the Pharah, maybe the Mei, I think will be beneficial here for Bluerose. But yeah, Hongsa, I mean, going for a third straight tank ban. Now, it didn't work with the Reinhardt or the Sigma to really swing things in their favor, but maybe here with the Roadhog, it'll do just that.
Perhaps it will be the change that they need coming into this next map. And you know what I also said at the very start of this stream was about how sometimes we just see the most random, bizarre things being chosen, and yeah, they are working out. And Roadhog appears to be one of those things, with Hongsa going with a bit of a reactive ban onto that Roadhog, with Bluerose, as you were pointing out, with that Freya, and how Freya can be quite a powerful choice on this map. It's a bit more of a traditional, you know, optimize how teams tend to play this game, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. And okay, I was thinking that domination was maybe going to go back over onto the Sigma, because Sigma was, of course, banned out on Nimbani, which you and I both thought was a little interesting of a ban to go with. But domination is hovering that Reinhardt. And remember, Hongsa did ban Reinhardt on Lijiang Tower, so they must have an idea that this is something that Bluerose could potentially fight with. And yeah, doors have opened. Comps are locked in, at least for the first fight here. Now, also for Bluerose, they're going to have Why Not over on this Lucio, so they are going to have that speed component to help domination navigate this long sightline map a little bit easier.
Perhaps a little bit easier indeed. This Reinhardt, well, perhaps Hongsa was forewarning us of what might be to come from domination here on this Reinhardt, trying their best already to find a couple of kills onto Hongsa, trying to pick up the kills on Mara, but isn't able to succeed. Perhaps some fans of channel and the Bluerose team as well might have already seen this coming, but oh, Gala able to pick up a first kill onto Mara. Not looking good for Hongsa, and I hope it's a reverse sweep.
Yeah, Hongsa's going to be on the back foot right now. Ooh, they're actually going to have Mara make the swap over onto the Reaper right away as well. I like the Mei on paper for a matchup against the Reinhardt, but this using Mei walls on this map in particular can be really, really tricky to find an actual isolation here. And where Bluerose are running the Lucio and the Kiriko, both those supports have the mobility to just navigate around a Mei wall.
Unfortunately, so it's Maywall is one of those things that's really powerful in theory, but unfortunately, it can be defeated in a lot of rather trivial ways. But it is not looking good for Hongsa once again. Bluerose finding the advantage with that early pick and finding even more progress with the cards.
Yeah, this payload or this bot is pushing towards this forward spawn here. Hongsa look like they want to maybe go for a contest to stop the forward spawns from being picked up, and they will get their feet on this bot just before that forward spawn activates.
Absolutely, and the aggression is rewarded. They are able to pick up a couple of kills, turn this fight around. Bluerose, they are starting to crumble. That is going beautifully well for Hongsa, turning this fight around, at least for now, but they will have a couple of fights ahead of them and some ultimates that are on the rise from Bluerose. They are getting quite some value there.
Yeah, I mean, Fuchsia has been getting so much value on this Sojourn without even having that overclock online. Just the railgun shots have been coming out. Again, they don't even need the overclock. They're just finding the headshots and opening things up here for Bluerose.
Get it together. We can't lose our advantage.
Yeah, I am looking forward to how this is going to be going out, but oh god, oh no, Gala is able to find a kill, second kill maybe, as well as helping the team, and this is unfortunately going to be a dominant fight win for Hongsa, only having to commit one ultimate, and that is unfortunately reversing the progress.
Yeah, Hongsa didn't really get a whole lot of push on that bot, unfortunately. No. Now, the good news for them is that they didn't commit any ults of their own into that. Bad news is that forward spawn is now in effect here for Bluerose as they pick up that checkpoint. Hongsa going to have to commit an ult into this fight to try and turn things around.
And I sure hope that they will be able to turn it around. They are going to have to commit that beat as well to keep them alive against that Sigma roll. But domination here with the Shatter is able to find a kill onto Myra. That is not going to be looking good when you've been losing such an valuable member. You've been putting such high DPS numbers. More members of Hongsa are going down by the moment. They're just falling around, grouping up, bullying even.
Yeah, it does feel like this. Reinhardt plus Lucio plus Fuchsia, Foliage on the Xion on an angle, just walking Robbie down, and it's gonna make the swap off of the Sigma. Actually, big swaps coming here for Hongsa to try and make an adjustment to this composition. Robbie's gonna come back on this Wrecking Ball. Mara on the Tracer as well, so a potential 1-2 hit onto some of these squishies from Bluerose.
It is indeed not looking too good for them. Oh, gonna try and find some kills onto the squishies. Unfortunately, it is not looking so good here. Hongsa trying to find a kill. Oh, they are able to find a kill though onto Foliage, but Foliage is able to find a kill onto Mara, trading it out. It's just not looking so good. They're getting closer and closer to the end point here. A switch onto this ball, not going with that. The other here is that they might be able to find value from this, and they are really trying to change their strategies here on the fly because they might be starting to get a little bit desperate.
Yeah, definitely. I like the swaps that come through from Hongsa. A lot of slams coming through from Robbie, and it really is onto those DPS to try and follow up on those pile drives. And so far, Mara and Lux very much rising to the occasion here, but a lot of progress has already been made on the bot here for the side of Bluerose. I mean, I guess if you subscribe to Avril Theory, it's looking pretty good for Bluerose, but they do also have the Slam, they have this Kitsune Rush, Foliage is even going to have the Suzuki Spree, so they have a lot to try and once again halt this momentum from Hongsa, because so far, Hongsa haven't been able to chain 2 fight wins together.
No, and that is the really important part of push maps, is being able to chain these fights together. It also matters for getting so much card progress as well, even if you are losing. And you have to take the victories and win them in a long distance as well. But I'm getting a bit of ahead of myself because right now, this tank is all the way in the backline, isolated by themselves. The Hiriko here coming in to try and help Lucio as well, getting bailed out, but Lux able to pick up a kill onto Gala. 1 member down on Bluerose, 1 ultimate. They do not have to worry about. Bluerose, though, continues to have a tremendous lead with their ults. They haven't chosen to commit any just at this moment. They're not being pressured just enough.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Now, all right, looking good here for Hongsa to push this forward a little bit more, but 5 ults on the board, and Bluerose are gonna let a couple rip.
They really are going to absolutely just let them go. They're going to press Q even when it might be a little bit over excessive. But it is a fine win for Bluerose nevertheless. They've got a huge amount of advantage in can't progress as well.
Yeah, this is good for Bluerose to be back in control. They don't have the forward spawns just yet, so there is an opportunity here for Hongsa to contest this cart before that forward spawn activates. They have the mobility to work with here, but Lux is already so low. Yeah, they aren't going to be able to deny those forward spawns. With just the Riptide's Sanctuary online here, you're really just looking to use that to counter out Gala's overclock, because pretty much all of the other damage, you're going to be able to just get through the barrier of that Sanctuary.
Yeah, absolutely, especially if you're just able to close in a little bit, and at that point you're just facing Brawl, and well, Reinhardt is extremely good in those situations. Foliage is already able to pick up a kill, going in for the early engage with that bike, playing exactly as they should. Kind of find a couple of kills, but unfortunately they are going to be pushed back. Hongsa, they are going to be able to use this roll gun overclock and find a kill. They are able to find a kill on Dominion. Could this be the final mark that they need to try and turn this around, get a victory that they need without having the part go all the way the distance? Basket finding 2 kills as a support. That is unbelievable. But they are able to win the fight. They are able to turn this around, and they're starting to make just a little bit more progress towards the point. But it really matters when they are able to get to that, unfortunately, the little thing that they need to push.
Yeah, the barrier still sitting in wait here. Now, everybody from Bluerose did get those forward spawns as well, and 3 ults on the board. Why not is going to get the barrier online shortly as well. Hongsa, they need Robbie to find a split with these mines, because right now Bluerose have just been playing the death ball so well.
They really have been playing this death ball extremely well. Foliage here coming out with a double kills on their ultimate. It's brutal for Hongsa. They do not want to be losing too many players. But with this ball, they should be able to try and stall a little bit longer. Oh, they're able to find at least 1 kill here. But Foliage is able to pick up the kill on Basket. No nano here for Hongsa. But they are forcing Bluerose to retreat, and that is the win thing that you really want. All while a little duel is happening placed on the bot, sorry.
Yeah, Bluerose is just doing a great job stalling this bot from moving forward. Even when Hongsa is winning the fight, Bluerose always have Foliage back here kind of putting pressure on that bot. Now, Hongsa's approaching the checkpoint here, but Domination got himself set up on the point, and it's going to be so hard to push past that Reinhardt. Hongsa, they need to make use of this nano that Basket has coming online.
And these ultimates are going to be sure to try and change the fight. I hope they're going to be able to find the value that they need, because it is looking like a difficult situation, especially if you're going to be going down like that. Domination find the pick with the fire strike. Mara not too good. Q comes out here as well. Shatter from Domination is able to find yet another pick, and now there's just 40 seconds remaining on the clock. Fans of Hongsa might be in dire straits here, because it is not looking good for them.
No, Robbie's gonna commit the mines in the hallway here. Looking like you might have been able to get C-Sharp, but the Suzu gonna keep the Kiriko alive for Bluerose. And Bluerose have just done such a good job cycling these ultimates here, because they still have 3 ults ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. They were really able to try and stabilize in that previous fight there, but now the nano is able to come online, is used here. They're trying to be able to find the value that they need, trying to turn this fight around. The Tracer is healing damage here against the Reinhardt. Oh, he's able to find 1, but unfortunately goes down with their ultimate. They're just far too visible with that. And the overclock comes out, trying to find 1, turns 2. Hongsa in overtime. This is their only chance to turn this around, to stay in this series in this first 2-3. If they are not able to push it almost all the way, then Bluerose will be taking this victory. No reverse sweep for any fans of Hongsa. No reverse sweep for me either. But they have 1 ultimate. This is all that they have available to them. Bluerose, they're building up their own. They have a Kiriko ult. They have their own overclock as well. And with a couple of clean headshots, that is all that it takes to win a fight.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. That's why this Sanctuary from Riptide needs to be able to counter it out. It's excellent timing from Riptide here. That's going to deny all of this overclock from Gala.
Absolutely, it's just going to get absolutely no valuable, all thanks to that perfectly timed ult by Riptide. But unfortunately, Hongsa, they've just lost a few too many members, perhaps. There's just a Tracer and a Ball. All that's remaining. Will the stick find a huge number? It doesn't now. It's just all the Ball remaining. And unfortunately, they are shattered to pieces. Hongsa, they might have timed their ultimate perfectly, but they were not able to win the remaining part of that fight. It just collapsed all too quickly for them. Bluerose collapsed in on that. They knew that they had that time, and they were able to capitalize on that. It was close, but unfortunately Bluerose getting that victory there. What do you make of this, though? That was something I was delighted to see.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a little shout out here to Basket with the play of the game here. You definitely don't get to see that on Ana a whole lot. But I think that despite this being a 3-0, very, very close series here. Definitely felt like Bluerose a little bit more comfortable here on New Queen Street. I think that the Reinhardt composition looked fantastic from them, really leaning into what I had kind of mentioned that I thought Bluerose was doing really well on Lijiang, which is target focus. They did a fantastic job on that map, carried it throughout the series, and I think once they were on the Reinhardt kind of rush composition, that's where target priority really can just win you a fight so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. They were using that target priority so well indeed. And perhaps that's just the main reason that they won. But it's not over for the players of either of these teams, as the winner will be facing off in the upper semi-finals against the winner of Hidden King and whoever wins the other play-in match. But the loser, Hongsa, well, they still have a chance to make a comeback of sorts in the lower brackets. And if you want to find out, you better be following and subscribing to the various channels, whether you're on YouTube, Twitch, or joining the Discord.
Yeah, absolutely. Follow along. This is just the first match of the playoffs here. These are going to be going on in all three of the divisions. So this is, of course, our B League here, but there is so much more action happening in the A League and the C League as well. And that's what I love about these playoffs being this double elimination bracket, is that there's a lot of opportunity for some storylines here. I think that Hongsa had a fantastic showing this series. I understand that they didn't have their full roster either, so a chance for them to make a run through the lower bracket is not off the table.
It is not off the table, with unfortunate situations as well for some of these players. I hope that we don't see any repeats of water spilling coming out from these teams. Hongsa, they, like some people are saying, not everybody is around, and that might have impacted some of their performance today, because these teams, like I said, they have been playing for a number of weeks together. They've been rehearsing, scrimming, practicing, getting ready, and all of that little details that are really valued and rehearsed are really what makes the difference. But I have been rambling for a little bit too long on these two things, because we have something far more valuable to be assigning, and that is the MVP. Rain, who in your totally expert opinion, far more experienced than me, do you think MVP is? Because this is like the gold standard. You're the expert, the de facto source of this information, right?
This is so much pressure here. I gotta say though, I mean, we saw 3 tank bans come out from the side of Hongsa. Each time it was a target on to Domination. So I gotta give MVP to Domination. I think that getting to play the Roadhog and play it so well that it gets banned on the 3rd map, I gotta say that that is a very valuable player here. So well done to Domination.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to respect the experts in the room right now of this. I have to agree as well. That Roadhog pick, I saw it do work on maps I would never have expected it. It was a sight to behold, and that's why I love BPL. You really do get to see some amazing things go down.
Yeah, absolutely agree. It's been a fantastic match here. And again, this is just to start off our evening tonight. There are more Overwatch matches to be played on this lovely Friday afternoon, evening. Slime City Monarchs versus Danu going to be live. I believe that's ongoing on BPL 2 right now. And then coming up at 9 o'clock, Demonetized versus Sixth Kingdom.
Yeah, so make sure to have both streams open. Don't just switch over. Have them both open so that you can truly enjoy the momentous games that we are going to be seeing. Quick little snapshot of what's going on at BPL 2 at the moment. As you can see, poor Reinhardt there losing out, but it is looking like it's going to be starting off to a rather close fight. Look at these two teams. They are already like equal on the first point.
It's impressive stuff here. Now, of course, that is going to be another match from our B League here. So we're really kind of trying to cover a bunch of B League matches tonight. Those are the ones that got scheduled. So yeah, like Jaffa said, make sure that you hop over and check out that team because, of course, that's going to have playoff implications for Bluerose and for Hongsa as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are implications that are going to matter if you have chosen to support either of these two teams in these matches. If you have been playing as well, I sure hope that you've chosen the team that you support. If you unfortunately did not make it, and at least find some friends as well to support you in your run. That is always what BPL has been about. It's so much fun to see these players play once again, but I think that might be all for me for now. We do have a couple of matches upcoming and some more over the weekend as well. And if you don't want to be missing out on those, make sure to follow us on Twitch, on Twitter, and why not Discord as well? I mean, you might as well.
Absolutely. All right. Until next time, BPL, enjoy your evening.
Oh no! Froggy gets 7! Froggy gets 2!
Oh my god.
I gotta ask for that century.
Froggy gets 3!
And when the world needed him most, Lowell hit the pulse bomb.
99 to 99. That is as close as it
And
gets.
can't
Then
quite
I'm
get
up
there
first map.
in time.
15 and 8,
Okay.
Tracer Thanos.
Where was that sanctuary? Am I allowed to ask?
I
Did
mean,
you
you
just-
see it. It was on
Yes.
Gren High Noon, I think.
Yeah, which I guess it works, but like they also
And
just
then
walked into it and it just
data-
died.
Died to it anyway, yeah. Here we go.
Yeah.
Potato Freaker here. Potato had so much impact in this fight, yeah.
Bitch, dude.
Could have nearly got a fourth there, I think. I didn't quite. Oh, here we go. Lowell was 15 and 8. Froggy was 20 and 7. Meany was 25 and 6. Seb 31 and 6.
15
The
and 8,
numbers did
Tracer
favour
goat.
Daniel on that map. However, Slime City do just about edge it out. All look like 17k damage. Do they know you can include something other than the tank?
Hey, sometimes all you gotta do is shoot the tank. I get it.
True.
But no, it looked really good from both teams, to be fair. Definitely the better ones with Mirror than Mizuki. I think Mizuki just rounded it better there.
I'm not liking this this prefix for my name here.
Let's just be Not yes. Let's vote for Silsey. She's in this game,
Let's
and
vote
she's
for
not
me
moving.
for Rookie of the Season in B League.
We vote for Niatus. We vote for Rookie of the Year instead.
No, because Niatus played last season.
I'm not eligible for Rookie of the Year,
You
unfortunately.
can vote
Hey,
Niatus for
Roaster.
most
Bro,
improved.
you think my ass is getting nominated? It's actually funny. Every single player on my team is a rookie, so I'm the only person eligible for most improved. No one else can be most improved. I didn't have anything, but I had to put myself most improved. Thank you, Fred. It's like my favorite. I put you for every single place like that. Back it over.
In Rookie of the Year, who says no?
I was actually so tempted to add on game. I'm not gonna lie. I was really close to. I did give it to LeBron though.
I did
Can't
give it to
really not.
LeBron.
Yeah, I can't give everything to LeBron. What, can you make
Okay.
Nia just a hazard guy? That's what he is.
Yep, the hazard guy.
You're just a hazard guy, bro. That's what you are.
Yeah, I'm John Hazard. This is right.
This is true.
That's
man.
why I
So,
know. That's why I know Yuki shouldn't play Haz.
It's hybrid on the board now. So, wait, do you think we're going to somewhere that's not King's Row?
I mean, it's doors, so when it doesn't get clicking, it's munching.
It's the map pool is it's what KR, Numbani, New Junction, Neon Junction, and what's the fourth one?
A great question.
It's not Blizz, it's not Holly, it's Midtown.
Midtown, that's the one.
I'm making a bet. It's either Chaos Scrims Row or it's Midtown.
I don't think it'll be Midtown.
Actually, Danu's tanks do like to play Winston quite a lot. I think we're gonna get some Numbani.
Well, the thing is, so Danu, I believe. Actually, wait, I forget what order it's chosen. Let me read the rulebook here.
I believe it's Control, Hybrid, Flashpoint.
Each club equipment map will be selected by the team who most recently lost a map. Yes, so it will be Danu selecting a map here.
I'm gonna guess it's gonna be some Numbani, and we're gonna see some Winston gaming.
Anthony, do you have a prediction?
I any tool wins this map, I reckon. They got Heart Luther, you know. Heart Luther's the Winston guy. So I reckon any sort of Winston map, so probably the body. One.
It is Numbani.
That's right.
Now, do Danu get first banner as well, or is it?
Yeah,
Smiley?
No, they don't.
No, they
Okay.
don't.
Climb City will get the choice of either banning first or second, and they all get side select. But as you guys said, Numbani is the choice from Danu.
I think a Winston ban is smart here, but
Yeah,
I don't
we just
know
take
if they. I don't know if they care a lot about going for the Winston. I don't think they're scared about a Winston pick.
I mean, yeah, you split either then, yeah.
I think what's gonna happen is I think it's a Mizu ban. To just let Dawes. No, you tank protect if you're Slime City. So you can play Diva.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. There's a bunch of different bands they can do.
So,
Yeah.
we're waiting to see on the bangs to come through.
Oh,
Danu are gonna ban first.
okay.
Interesting. I wonder if Slime City have read the rulebook here.
It's a low-out teams. Definitely not.
Yeah, that's
It's a
Luau's
possibility.
not a reading man, I think.
There's nothing wrong with that. Reading's hard. I get it.
Do you know what the bans were from F1 or no? Actually,
Names
Bands
are,
for that
yeah.
one were it was May from Danu, and it was Raya from Slime City.
Wait, target banning the WoW? Is that not chills? Like,
I mean, he includes a certain aura.
there's a lot of aura behind the WoW.
There's certainly a aura around him.
Can we nominate Laval for? Can we make Noah MVP? Even if he doesn't play a single map left over, we just make him MVP right now because it's fun.
let's do it.
Done.
I'll be honest,
Even if
the
he
day I see
loses-
a Lawal MVP in B League is
How does the WoW ever
probably the
win
day I'm
MVP?
no longer here.
All
Should
right,
it though?
let's get a WoW MVP for A League then.
Yes,
I think A League would have to be in a very sorry state for that to happen.
bro.
No, current A League, but Luau for Admiral Kane then R.
Ooh.
I'm not going to comment on that due to my team's mental state.
I would
Kane
fit
is
right in.
However, Admiral Kane will get his first map win tomorrow,
a sick.
or my team
Okay,
will drop out
so
the tournament.
banks have come through. We have
Oh.
Danu, Ban Anna, and Climb City of Bank Sigma.
Yeah, makes
Sick
sense.
ban is interesting.
They want to play Diva. They want to
They
play
wanna
Diva,
play
and they don't want to play
Diva.
into. They don't want to play into say Mizukiri.
I would
So
assume
best
the
way to stop that.
Mizu ban, but Sig works.
No,
Anna
it's
ban is
doors,
interesting.
bro.
So, do you think they're banning out the Anna brick?
I got
think-
first,
yeah.
Jordano.
I think it's something that's been unfavored for a while, obviously, since Luke has been so prevalent, even on dive maps. But
I mean, it could have been
buffed recently.
Could be a protect ban. They could have protected the Mizuki.
It could also be that is also true. It could be a protected ban onto the Mizuki.
I reckon it's protect ban, yeah, because they know they want to play Diva, so they want to play Mizuki, and they would only play Mizuki, and they favour Potato in the Mizuki matchup, so they protect ban the Anna. They get to play their
Yeah,
Mizuki
well,
stuff
the thing is-
into the Diva.
Barker is in the Climb City VC, which
So we'll probably see Buck coming in. Maybe.
I mean, if they want to play Mizuki, I feel like Climb City have just played Kevin on that, which means I don't think they're necessarily scared to play it. So this will be interesting.
I
I
imagine
think
it's
we are
just
just
gonna be
waiting on
Diva
getting a
Mizu.
second up set up right now and waiting for ours from the team. So we're
Actually,
just waiting on that for now.
we're gonna see some Freya, aren't we?
We might see some Freya here.
Winston, I think, is gonna be really rough. Diva's open, Freya's open. Probably Mizukiri, I'd assume.
Oh. There's a very important poll that has just popped up that I had to vote in.
I
We
didn't
could
know.
see some
I hope you chose
breakage,
the right
though.
one, by the way.
I did. We chose the same one.
Okay, good. I mean,
It's
No, you
weird.
but anyone
'cause
is-
I like both of them. You know.
I do as well, but you're always choosing the first one. Both are good, but like one's just better.
When I was younger, I would have chosen the other one, I think. But I haven't had the other one in a while, and I kind of want to get House to get some. I need to check if my corner shop has them. They probably do.
Do you reckon the WoW's in? Do you reckon the WoW's keeping himself in?
Maybe. I mean,
He is a bit trace in that.
I think
So,
I think Slime City have been trying to, more so Dab Master, who is the coach of Slime City, has been
Dad
trying
Master's a coach of Slum City?
He's been trying to push
No.
WoW to play more. I think on that roster. I think Doors has been trying to push that as well. So we will be interested. So Bandit is AFK 1 second, so that probably means Bandit's coming in for Froggy.
Yeah, probably. Whoa. Yeah, I don't know.
So
I'm the same.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Froggy play Freya, which means Bandit could be coming in to play the Freya, as you mentioned.
Yeah, Frog isn't playing Trey, so that makes sense.
yeah, I've only really seen
Well,
Froggy
Froggy-
and
Froggy
like
was
Tracer
playing past,
Soge.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they come out with here. What I'm interested in to see is what Muni plays here, because I think Muni's a very flexible player, and sometimes he will pick a good pick. Sometimes he might just randomly pick Vendetta, you know.
Alright,
Um,
Rooney's, I swear, Rooney's good at Vendetta. I've
I
been
don't know.
saying this all
I
the
think he
time.
is, but the character's in not the best state.
Loki,
I mean the character's better, but
I think Ben is pretty good into Diva.
that is
Yeah,
true.
I agree.
I think that's what Slime is gonna run is the Diva comp.
They
So I
should play
don't think that is a
Anran.
bad pick.
That's what I'm saying. Should play Anran. That's the
So,
method.
oh, you're so right. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Muni goes for something like a Vendetta, or he does opt to lure out on something like the Tracer, or he could go back to the Cleon.
Probably
Should
Machine.
we
I
go
think
to
it's good
Genji?
for
I don't
him.
think it's Genji. Oh, we're going in. Awesome. Okay, Muni is covering the Tracer, so yeah, Bandit is on the. Yeah, they are playing
Yeah,
Diva
on the
Threat.
threat.
So
Oh,
interestingly, Potato is on the cat.
Froggy.
I do respect this pick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
makes sense.
Kevin has come in to play Mizuki as well.
And Seb has jumped in and already lost his armor.
Yep. Tries to take that place, instantly gets booped. Potato is immediately 1 HP on
Oh my lord!
found first blood. Wow,
Wait,
goes off
is he
his
hacking?
mechanical prowess. So, maybe we're
Wait,
not
Rob,
too
he's
much
up.
on the Okay. Loyal and Kevin running the 2v1. Okay.
Oh,
Kevin is
Kevin
dead.
shit.
Kevin just goes back into the main where he.
No, wow!
Looney traded though.
Uni.
Wow is good for
That's
2.
Loyal.
Wait, it was Loki
Loyal
actually doing
found the
well.
only 2 picks on Slime City so far.
I'm just starting cheering off on the bat at the moment. Door is low HP, getting his armor back, Bandit on the fire, holding the angle. Winston jumps in, forces bubble, forces jump out, loses a bunch of HP, but Doors is there to follow up on damage, and Loao kills
Wow
Mooney
gets
again.
Mooney
I'll get
again.
another one on Yuki. Loyal
Wait,
is
that's
using like
good for
thrown
it.
bombs. But Filthy does get
Bandit
forced out
caught by
there.
Grand.
Bandits.
Good trade. Loyal is sort of free to do whatever, but he is lurking deep right now. Gren is about to get back by here, I guess.
Doors has
Bomb
bomb,
is
forces bomb.
forced.
You have to
Loyal
get a
has
high
his
ground.
bomb.
Loyal also now forced up a
Loyal
fire.
1
1
HP.
HP. Gren can't quite find the shot, and Door
Oh,
blows
how
up
poor is
Gren.
Diva?
But Filthy gets bucketed in response, and Muni finds Bucket as well. So now,
It's so scrappy.
3v3 on point, I think.
Slime's
uh,
trade with no
always-
supports though.
Oh,
Lenny
Loyal has to hold
Pulse.
onto the tank. Loyal has been lights out so far. Potato nearly is down here. Potato in Uni versus Door and Loyal, I think. Loyal forced the recall. And I think Potato and Uni are just going to get out here. But a camera comes out into thin air. That is not when you want to see again. It's Door has this newfound freedom to just hit this face. And Uni definitely have this Pokemon here. So he finds Uni too. Uni won't be able to impact the fight with their Pokemon here, but Seb has Primal Rage, and looks like he does have the Kitsu as well. Silky has their Kitsu here coming up too. High Noon is popped here, no one in sight of the WoW. WoW recall is
Seb pops his
4.
primal.
Primal 4, looking for bucket here maybe. Seb dropping really low, nearly
Seb from HP.
nearly gets out without their life.
But Luau kills Potato.
It was
Wow,
dead.
Potato, that's such a good pick!
Luau is doing everything.
Wow,
He's
Dog
actually doing
might be
everything.
cracking Kobe right now. Bono is invested in the fight, despite it being what I think. But, I mean, wow.
A Tracer gap of the century.
This might be the best Luau has worked in BPL in a while, honestly.
Luau has
Luau
another
is
pulse
looking
too.
so good.
And Luau is coming up on his
This is a really bad spot for
second
Danu
pulse?
too. Second
Might be
pulse,
third,
yeah.
actually.
I think it's
I
second.
could have sworn he used a second. We have to feel okay. The Tracer
Recall-
is
recall
down here.
forced
Recall
early.
fourth. Let's get the Tracer split going, Uni. Establish your dominance back. Kijk, Heincho is put on the point
Body
here by
on
Bucket
point.
here in response to Heincho.
Seb-
Runs down Bandit though.
Seb gets 2! Bomb is
Yeah,
forced.
Today is some Silky here too. Uni just waiting, trying to get Luau here. Gren is caught for
Stick
Silky.
on
Luau
Gren.
gets on the pole, but the
Wait,
Silky
Seb
came out. I
lost his
think
mech as well for
Luau
simply
finds
turnable
Gren
for
the
starting
jungler.
rounds.
This is turnable.
Seb, look at Turnable, yeah.
Wait,
Look at
hold
the
that.
way to
Hold
make
it.
it. But Uni is just probing out door, trying to force them to touch early. Luau just keeping the touch. Has their recall 4. Needs to left the
Shade is
Pokemon.
missed.
Look,
Just love the pulse ready.
Here. Has their recall
Recall
4.
Seb's
however.
pulse force.
Dawes
Dawes
gets
found
Seb.
Seb.
Luau dead though.
He gets all the stick.
But the stick is
For
good, but the
Suzu.
Suzu. But Bandit finding Uni off the back of it as well. And the,
Wait,
oh.
Paco is 1 HP.
Oh
The
my
C9! Oh my god! No.
Dawes for points.
Oh my god.
Dawes
No
it.
For
way.
points.
Oh my god.
Oh.
It was looking so good for Slime City. They were clutching
Slime
and then they just
City.
don't touch. Why don't
Had
we need
it
to kill the
in
WoW?
their grasp. Their fingertips were reaching for it.
Oni were in a pretty good spot though. They have good ults.
And Dawes has just lost.
Dawes is
Dawes has already
DMX
tilted.
instant.
Adano can use to just global. They're gonna just hide and not give Dorg any mech charge. Dorg is probably gonna be
Momentum.
forced to reset.
Oh,
Yeah, and they
Dorg-
just killed Dorg. That's such a good pick.
Oh, and
Oh my
the
god.
phrase. Oh, good chain too.
It's such a blunder from Flame City, and Dano was just gonna take it to global second. They
And
just
Darnold
kept the
have the
point
ult as well.
Oh, they get the stagger
time.
as well.
Actually,
Oh,
it's so
that's
tragic.
an absolute tragedy if you're a fan of Slime City. But Lowell is doing the Lowell special. He is in the back line. His natural habitat. He is praying
Wow,
on
in
the
your
back
back
line
line.
of Barney here. W pip here.
Nanu have such good ults
Oh.
for this fight.
Oh,
If we can play slow and farm the Kitsu, early Kakai. Oh, the bomb is forced. Oh, the bomb gets killed.
Trent finds the
Bomb's
one in the bubble.
dead
Lowell
too.
finds Emerald City in return. Bandit found another in return.
That's
such a winnable fight.
Can Bandit
Oh,
catch up?
Dren.
No.
Oh my god. Everything is forced from Danu though.
Oh, wait, I mean,
They get second, but it's at a steep
guys,
loss.
I have to be honest. I'm still so cocked on that C9. Okay,
That is
I mean,
horrible.
Slime City have 4 ults on the board. They need to win a fight urgently to get some footing back in the board.
If they
Really
lose a
has
fight,
a
we
hold.
just-
Early
Obviously,
Kitsu.
it's
Kitsu for Sanctuary.
I, in response,
Oh, Seb is in
dropped,
there.
Yeah, everyone dropped quite low. Roller is popped
Roller
from
goes
Bandit as well.
wide.
Doesn't hit anyone. Mimi and Lowell both have pulse as well.
Okay.
Well, they will meet each other on the high ground or on the mega angle here. Mimi just on the prowl here, looking for it. Maybe looking for Bandit here. Will they find it? They'll get the updraft. Mimi's going to be one of them. Have a recall fourth off the back of the box. They'll still see did probably consider rush in the front line as well. Well, Mimi just fighting on the side there. Nothing will probably come out of this, but Mimi just praying, hoping Lowell goes a bit too far.
Seems
Another
so
high
much
fight
HP
here.
though.
Lord, nearly goes down there. Oh, nearly pops Muni in response, and Muni's over health to give them the advantage in that fight. So Lowell has to retreat from Mini. Gren does have high noon for the front line. Pops it, chain onto Door. Door just trying to blow them up, but Bandit dies.
Lowell
But
gets
Lowell
broken.
does find the pop bombs to Gren. 4v4 fight now. Muni fights around in response, gets
First
chained.
love, the nice
Oh,
chain.
2 HP.
2 HP.
Have this Pokemon now to still try and find a late pick in this fight. Look for it. Don't know if they hit the stick. They do. Don't
Oh,
they hit
Pulse
the stick
goes
or what they
wide.
do. Emerald City 3 does teammate Dorkno. Dorkno mech now for the last 40 seconds of this. And
We have a
tragic.
Kakai.
Oh, good chain from Potato.
Oh,
but
we don't get the
Pokemon
we don't get the Kakai.
Bandit
Bandit
found
gets
2
two.
now. We found Uni as well, but Xeb traded Bandit.
Wait, is it still
Xeb
it's still
really
winnable?
low though. If you Xeb does hit the bottom for the D-Mech,
Saving the
They-
D-Mac. Saving the bomb.
they hit the bomb. Yeah. 20 seconds.
Whenever
on,
Lowell's
grabs the
alive,
final
it's
fight.
always possible.
If we can get a
And,
final fight, Danu have great ults.
Gren
When
Hobbit
it's
to the
come back
Genji
off
here for the final
Genji.
fight 2 to come fast. Clever Potato do. I think ult-wise, let's fight favour Darby. You have to get the touch though. Just about gets it.
Oh,
Maybe one
look
click
at
for
the
Wow in
one
the
click.
process.
And Lowell keeps out
Keep
with
pop by Emerald 83.
Seb has the touch.
Danu
Grin
has
is
to be
found
careful.
early.
Wow finds the first pick! Door nearly.
Yes,
Door!
Oh my goodness!
Oh my god! Silky nearly has this work up a goal. Wow, pop as well. Broke it out. Doesn't hit anyone but Potato jump into it! And Silky jumps rush as well. Door finds Emerald 83 finally. And Bandit is just going to be able to clean up the Diva here as well. And oh my god.
Really near choked by starting him on us.
This is just bounced back and forth. This is
From
a
a
great
full
series so
hold on
far.
first to barely full holding third.
I mean, Lowell
Lowell was
22 and 3. I mean,
Lowell so much.
who is on Lowell's PC? Genuinely. Who is playing on Lowell's
Lowell
PC?
is actually going crazy.
I don't think I've seen Lowell play this well
Is
in
it sugar free?
ages.
I know we were joking about Lowell MVP, but like, look,
Yeah.
he deserves it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Check the
let's
PC.
chill a bit there, MD. But I mean, You know, a lot of people coming into this game would say, "Oh, yeah, Muni is probably just a better French
Yeah,
here."
I've
But
said
Muni
that.
on this map so far, he's not that great. Loire was not the better of him most of the time.
That'd be the wow.
And I mean, Bandit might be going for an early pick here after Widow. We'll have to see if I actually stick it. And Loire does have 69 healing.
Nice.
That's a recall? That's a recall, right? Yeah.
So Bandit is going to roll out on the Widow. Just to see if they can get an early pick.
Well, I pay it.
And I think they are going back to spawn. They're probably just going back over to the threat.
That makes sense. Still needs to build the ult charge in his choke.
Okay, and
Yeah, the threat.
Seven Dogs just trading out charge here. Just poking away at each other. Letting
Yeah,
each other
never
farm
much
out
of
charge.
essentially.
This is a real engaging gameplay here.
Yeah, I'm loving this. Okay, the
Well,
last
looking for
forcing
coming
point.
under, just going to fourth point. The
Not playing the
dog
OBJ.
is
Yeah, that's
all
all
Ren
right.
found
Bandit-
early. Mooney gets
Bandit and
Luau
Mooney
though.
trades for each side. 4v4. I think this trade will favour Climb City. Uni obviously does have off-angle control now, but the threat is up, so all of Dani can still get choked by this. Emerald City 3 in a bit of an unfavourable position as Dani has a...
Oh, Potato's
quite
low.
big argument.
Potato caught out.
And they took caught out, that's tragic.
And
That's
Seb
pretty meant
beat
too.
back.
And Climb City
That's
are
his
just
first
going to be able
point.
to get up first point here.
Wow, he was moving again.
And yeah, I mean, I felt like Dor and Seb just stayed at each other for a good 5 years.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, it's just the big little trades and
Oh
trades
my
always
God,
favors
Seb-
the attackers.
Seb already did that.
Wait, Seb's lost his man
Seb just,
already.
Seb just
that
got
is
like
so
10
bad.
fireballs to the head.
It's just gonna be a snowball on second.
Yeah, this is almost a mirror of
Street's face
what
is gonna
happened.
go away.
Yeah, managed to keep Seb
Oh,
up.
those-
Bowler popped out. Oh, that's a
What?
trash.
Wait, Seb!
Seb, quick! Oh my god, but Dorf
Wait,
bomb
Dorf's
gets
just
to
a-
Seb's neck. Really killed
Really
Kevin as
goes
well, though.
back
So
in.
Danu are probably going to be able to slow the process of Climb City here.
The thing is, Seb
Okay.
doesn't have mech.
Seb
So
doesn't
they
know
can
that, it's
still
just
snare
Seb,
this.
no
They
mech.
can still try and snowball this.
Danu
Seb
has
Danu's
to
had
try
taken
and-
control of the payload. So
We keep
they
too
go
early trying to
Seb.
block
Early
Seb.
Kitsu.
Nice
Oh,
use,
Seb.
Finds
Doesn't
the important
matter.
kunai. That's so pivotal. And oh my god, Bandit
Oh my.
just nearly take off Potato's head. Kevin does find Muni on the angle though. So Danu are just gonna have to regroup.
This is 5
Climb
ults
City,
coming out
just
from
get
the side
two
of
on
Dart.
cart, get a bunch of payload push, force the checkpoint fight. However, Danu have 5 ults for this fight. So this will be a
5? That's a
Emerald
big
City 3,
number.
they'll pop their rush fire, good rush onto the point. Kekai Sanctuary is popped in return. Seb demeked, forced to use bomb. Bandit going really aggro and finds Seb before they can
Seb
remake.
just
That's
get
big.
Just
Dor-
next dice to
Just make it die to the bomb.
just lose
And,
them
uh,
like
Oh,
dance.
Muni. Donnie do win the fight eventually. Pokemon used
Do
in the
use
process.
free ults for it.
Alongside the bomb and the kick through. But you do have a Kakaitu who
I think
who
Danu
still-
are still in a better position though for this next fight.
Yeah, you have the noon as well. So you can just Kakai on top of your noon and there's not a lot you can do to contest it. Dor obviously will probably have to fly up and contest it. Loao and Muni fighting on the side here. Loao just fighting for less space.
Wow, Pulse
Yeah,
needs to
Muni
go
have give
crazy
it up.
here.
Dor,
Loao is good
Gren
for
does
it.
drop off
Ren
behind.
drops.
Bandit was really low in the Slime City backline here. They need to keep Bandit alive with the bowler here. Pulse
Low
will throw up
Pulse
from the wild, doesn't
goes
find
wide.
anything. Muni. Oh,
Right,
Muni just
Luau
gets
gets
two
Muni.
angles
Physical chance.
and just gets caught out. That's tragic for Danu.
It's a
Yeah,
double body
down
block.
one. Loao
They're forced out. They take away
into the
space
side
here.
now. Bandit playing for bowler into the backline. Doesn't stick anyone with it though. Finding Pop and Gren to just try and force
Gren's
Slime
got
City back.
HP.
And
We
Dor
get the
gets
mech.
met by it. Another Kakai is out too, and Danu is just
Oh.
getting stabilized on this. And now
We just take
this
that
is a
loss.
fight that just looks so good for Danu.
If you're
If
you
if
take
Dork doesn't
that
find the
fight,
mech, Dork doesn't find the mech, but
we
Khilchi pops up.
Kitsune.
Oh
Wait,
no!
maybe win them all.
Wait, Luau has a D-Met. That's quite big. That I just find
Luau
it
gets a
clean up.
potato.
Luau gets a
his
trade.
We have
one.
recall.
Luau's nearly getting 2 here. Oh
Luau
my
gets
god!
a
Luau! Wow!
Oh wow!
That's so big from Luau, but unfortunately, ik kan best geborgen. MLG is just going to be able to get the taxi off with Potato. Clemson do
And
need
we
to try and
have-
go fast, but I think they are on point now. But Daniel support will get them.
Dodge
Dodge
it. Dodge gets the bomb off.
After bomb, nearly give them a
Oh,
perfect
damage.
chunk.
Seb gets crunched. Mech is already so low.
Luau need to find something with Pokemon door to get
Those
Pokemon
D-Max.
up here, I think, yeah. Grijp de mech even en gewoon klaar. Ik denk Luau just poke the mech, while Grand does find doorfight. Niet van het chain om te gaan per every climb getting. Gilgi find gewoon better, find gewoon te meer,
It's really, really good.
With the
Bola
Bola
comes
is
out.
massive.
Bola on the gaan is so big.
Oh, they're all 1
Luau
HP.
chained
Oh,
up.
the chain,
Okay,
it doesn't do
wow,
anything.
No one looks at it long enough.
Oh.
Bandit find 4 in that fight, I think.
That all stemmed from those trades given by Luau.
Yeah.
Like those 2 trades just allowed them to take over space.
And
Doors
Dork
was
is
over
over
the
onto
ram
the
for the
ram here for the final point. Kevin, don't have Kai here. Bandit has Bola again, by the way, after just using it in the previous fight. Gren don't have the moon. Gren will have a bomb available too. Potato could have Kikai in at mid fight. Luau on the unit just proving away each other the high fight.
Maybe Kakai should cancel out. Oh, they don't even need to Kakai it. They can just kite it.
Slime Fit is just kiting.
That's so big for Slime City.
Luau just on the side here. Look at him playing patient, waiting for an angle. You need close to look Pokemon with Wild though. This could be really important. Gilgi dropping really low and forced to Suzu.
Potato's
Calm
very
down
close
just
to
defensively.
Kakai.
You need in the backline.
Oh,
Bandit just double headshot.
Holy
The
Bomb
Poke
is
Bomb.
Bomb, but no one there. They will just shoot the kind of door jump and
Chain on
Bomb.
Boss. That's gonna do it.
roll it
Luau
out
is
here.
about to have this
That's a
post
good
bomb.
roll
The
onto
Kakai's
Potato, but
could.
Luau nearly found Potato.
Luau with the pulse.
Potato's really force though. Kitsu pop.
Emerald City's so close to the Kitsu. Can we get it in time? Oh, Potato is down.
Happy
What's
The pulse. We have the Kitsu.
Donnie R up, dial down one.
Oh, Seb is demagged and Moody is dead.
And Clan City will just
That's
manage to
just
find the
mad.
cleanup picks. And this might just be the map for Climb City.
Such a back and forth
Really
map.
close.
Luau is Thanos.
I mean, wow.
35 and 5.
Oh my
That was
goodness.
a lights out map from Luau. I think Bandit had a very good second half to that map.
Bandit
to give
as
him
well,
credit to it.
yeah.
Bandit was the whole reason they captured the second point here. He finds
Oh,
that,
it's
finds the
whole
ball
Luau
onto the best
fucking
before they
water.
even remake. I mean,
But also what's interesting though is
well.
Silsey had over 10k down, over nearly 11k.
And
That map
Khilchi
is-
just
that map is
pumping the
well.
healing in there. And with the
Yeah.
damage as well, oh my god, Khilchi just pumping in both the
Yeah.
damage and the healing.
Like Silsey's out damaging. Mooney, Luau. Pretty much like so many people. It's like actually something to look out for.
I'm damaging Luau, funnily enough, but obviously Luau can trace it, so I'm not gonna,
Yeah, I mean it's
not
not
gonna hold back
it's,
to
you
it.
know,
But
Kyoko can
I
trace it,
mean,
but
yeah,
still,
I mean,
that's
that's
like-
just so much extra pressure onto the Diva, right? So Seb is just not able to hold his mech for as long as Dork is. And that makes the matter in these longer fights.
It
Now-
does, it does. What do you ban? Where do you go if you're Danu?
Did
So if
Bandit
push
played
come
map
up-
1, correct?
No, Froggy
No,
played map.
Froggy
Froggy
played
played
map
map 1.
1.
Okay, I was gonna say Froggy's 2. You. If I'm Danu, you have to ban Tracer here. No?
No,
Luau is
surely
just
not.
doing too much on Tracer.
I don't think you did.
Good evening, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Overwatch fans of all ages know the smoke is not me coming from beyond the grave. It is I, the Captain Jack, back with Jace for the second half of tonight's BPL coverage as we head into week 1 of the playoffs. We're here in the C League, Jace, and tonight is the play-in. They win or they go home.
Yeah, thank you for joining and taking time out of your obviously organized ganja pit, Captain Jack, to join us on the broadcast. The smoke is so funny, actually. But nonetheless,
yeah,
we've got
a little incense going. Got to set the mood, you know? Got to get the vibes right. As you can see,
we've got to play a game.
Yeah, we do. As we see, Bluerose Ore taking the 3-0 against Hongsa earlier this evening over on BPL_2. You can see Slime Monarchs versus Danu, which is currently 2-0. We'll see if there are any updates as things go on. But for our match, we'll be looking at Demonetized versus Sixth Kingdom. So let's see if we can get a little bit of info out about these folks in case the fans don't know much about what's going on.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a rematch from the regular season. Sixth Kingdom, Demonetized, played each other in kickoff and then ended up separated for the regular season. Demonetized coming out with a slightly better record, one would argue. Definitely the weaker group. Sixth Kingdom very much struggled in the regular season. As you can see, 3 map wins all season. So 2-0'd in quite a lot of their games. Remember, this is a playing spot, so one of these teams will be going home tonight. We've got 5 versus 4. I think the winner of this plays, one of the 1 seeds from either Cleric or Crusader. It's 3-4, yeah. Who are a very strong team, maybe the best that we've got in all of C League. So it's a mountain climb tonight, and then you're going straight into the pits of hell for your first playoff game. Here's the Demonetized roster.
Love seeing the Reinhardt main themselves spooky, bringing it in. Tracy coming in clutch on the brig to help out. According to some notes here from the team, Fives being the MVP that keeps Spooky alive on that Ana all the time. As we know, Ryans tend to be feeding maybe a little too much. Thank gods for the sniper rifle of Ana to be able to keep them in play. And then, of course, we have Feed Stacker, Joshin, Grunt, Futok, and EP there as well on the team. Really looking forward to seeing how they bring that to bear tonight as we head into the match. But let's take a look at our other team.
Yeah, Sixth Kingdom. This is one that I've been monitoring throughout the season. Marge with the Shion profile picture. It just bleeds aura. Do not be fooled by the favorite heroes that Sixth Kingdom have chosen to represent there. That is not really any of them. But this team have struggled throughout the regular season, but they are a high potential roster, I think, if they can get it clicking. And their core 5 there, what I would say their stronger 5, are very, very good, and their bench pieces give them flexibility. And at times I think they've really struggled to find their best lineup their best lineup this regular season. Mostly because of availability as well. But this is C League, and this is potentially with the idea of a lower bracket existing. Whichever one of these teams makes it in, even if they're playing a 1 seed, right? As we said, the winner plays free fall. Even if they lose to free fall, they've still got plenty of time to build up a reputation in the lower bracket. Every team, there's always 1 team each season that goes on a demonic run in the lower bracket, and there's no reason why it can't be either of these teams.
Well, I'm excited to see what ends up coming to be as we go ahead take a look at our map pool for this season. First map, as you can see, Ore selected by Demonetized. We're heading to Lijiang Tower. Now, looking at a little bit of the records for each of the teams, Lijiang Tower actually happens to be a favorite of Sixth Kingdom. I'm a little surprised that we ended up seeing Demonetized go ahead and pick that, because looking at Sixth Kingdom's record, they're 3-1 compared to Demonetized 1-1 on that particular map. So I'm a little interested to see how things work out. We also see the initial ban there by Demonetized as well, being the higher seed, taking Tracer out of the fight early.
Yeah, so that's a target ban. Miku
predominantly the Tracer player. That's going to force Marge and Fimi in for map 1. So if you're Sixth Kingdom, I think that's fine. Both of those are more flex DPS favored, and they're going to do absolutely fine on a map like this. Can play stuff a bit more brawly. Sixth Kingdom, though, they want to get the Ramatra out of there, which is interesting, knowing that you're going to be going against a Reinhardt player predominantly. But we shall see. I think I would have gone for probably like an Ana takeout, or potentially even taken out a Lucio. Short range map still, Reinhardt can benefit, but without that Lucio, that Reinhardt has to commit, and you get a lot of time to play comp that can outrange the Reinhardt, even on a map that is inherently short ranged. So I'm not quite sure what Sixth Kingdom are cooking with this first ban, but they clearly have an idea going into it, because it was pretty quickly decided, Captain Jack. So let's see how it pans out for them. It's a bold call, Cotton, but let's see how it plays out for them. It's a dodgeball reference for anyone in the chat.
Yeah, I do remember that good old dodgeball movie. As I take a look, thank you so much, production, for the additional notes that maps before today have actually all been preset. But that's okay. But I feel definitely looking at their win rate is an important aspect, as was also noted by production.
Yeah, I mean,
because even though it's predetermined, like still being able to show your dominance, so to speak, on that particular map, as we head into Lijiang Garden for our first map of the evening.
Yeah, well, sometimes I believe the saying is it's better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Demonetized have got plenty of game tape on Sixth Kingdom on this map. They say, hey, we've seen them on this map, 3-1, but it doesn't exactly move us. We think they're on a dip in form. We think our Reinhardt comp can beat them here. And let's see. Often, I think Sixth Kingdom here with this initial ban, I think they should have tried to opt into that Reinhardt force by leaving Ram open, the traditional hard counter, and take away something like Joshin's Farah or a hit stand from Feedstacker. But let's see how it does Joshin, the Flying Dutchman, as we call him, as I called him, as I call him a nickname, on his signature Farah. Oh my god, Grunt is already dead.
Yeah, I do love seeing the Mauga versus Ryan matchup that we have going on here. Elemental already taking down the Immortality Field of 5, so not going to have that protection as they move into the map. 20-second cooldown, going to be hard to get that back up, as we already see control going to Sixth Kingdom. The fight is far from over. The charge comes in. Joshin with the boop sends Elemental over the side, but Spooky just as quickly taken out of the fight without the tanks in there. It's going to be up to Sixth Kingdom to try to create some space here, but they're going to have to pull back. Demonetized just too much power as Feedstacker gets the double.
Yeah, Feed normally, I think, known for the Sojourn, but equally as good on the Cassidy. Just a very heavy mechanics hit stand player. I actually expected to see Miku and Elemental on the bench for this one, just because the Tracer was banned. Miku confident enough on the Sojourn to take the duel, and I don't mind it. It is kind of her primary go-to hit stand. Doesn't fare the best against the power of Joshin, and now they have to rotate. Fundamentally, Sixth Kingdom, great opening fight. This stomp from Elemental into White Room was just too much for me, I think. You needed to reset, you had no angles, play the poke phase, etc, etc. But now, Spooky swaps Clarissa, and it might be a bit more playable.
Yeah, as we already see the implication coming out. Again. Spooky sending Elemental off the side. Joshin with the follow-up onto Madge. And it looks like that's going to be a hold there. 43% and climbing for Demonetized.
Yeah, and important to remember that Farah historically on this map, right, Captain Jack, like it's not changed much from Overwatch 1, Overwatch 2. Nope. We both know, as well as each other, Farah on this map, when she gets to hold space, is so much better when she gets to retake. That was almost another boot, by the way, as Mirage comes in, the cooldown's on there.
Do see the Kitsune Rush coming out as well, creating that extra space. Fives even able to get in on the action, and Grunt able to get the boop on Gob there at the end, but we're still in one, maybe two fight territory, depending on how quickly Sixth Kingdom can get their act back together.
Yeah, and this is how Sixth Kingdom, some of their regular season games have gone. They get a good start and the wheels start to fall off. 2 maps in a row, your tank gets booped, you lose the third fight with ultimates. Now you're in a must-win territory with no ultimates.
That's right, looking for that boop, not able to find it. Spooky, the Elemental over the side again. And the cleanup is quick and clean. 5% remaining, and we can all but call it here. Demonetized.
Yes.
Take the Lijiang Garden.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really say anything else. You just can't be getting booped off the map 3 times as a tank on Lijiang Tower Gardens. I think your Symmetra could have done wonders there as well, just to hit the rotation onto point. Once you're inside the objective, it almost inverts the fact that the Pharah can shoot you from the outside of the map, because then she has to take an angle into the dojo. I think that you could have changed off the Sojourn earlier as well. The Xion wasn't really getting done with the angles as well. Sixth Kingdom, I think they spent the whole round finding adjustments, but ultimately were just kind of not really pacing themselves properly. Look at the damage that Joshin and Feed were able to do in that round 1, by the way, just far too uncontested.
Oh yeah, I mean, even just looking at their survivability, right? 3 players on the side of Demonetized not taking a single death that round is
Pretty
definitely showing
one-sided.
how much pressure they're putting.
Yeah, once Demonetized got the flip, that was basically round done. Sixth Kingdom just did not know how to retake on that point. Let's see if they can do better as we head to Control Center.
That's true. Spooky, Ore falling down to half health. Joshin a little lower than that. Beautiful Spirits, the back line, not able to finalize that kill, unfortunately, as everybody having to pull back to get healed up. We see the TP coming out, some turrets going through immediately, getting taken down. Level 3 beam! There's Elemental coming down. Sixth Kingdom about ready to get wiped off of the map once again. Mustard soon to follow. Match does get traded, is able to get the trade out, but not before Spooky finalizes there. 5%.
Yeah, I think that does. Yeah, so there's such a thing as, for example, the Church of Faker, the Church of Chovy, for example, and Joshin here is coming from the Mosque of Twisted Minds, of course, being a predominantly Muslim country from Saudi Arabia. And a lot of people think Sin has some heavy macro play to her, but in the Orisa matchup, you pick Orisa, no, you can't play the game if you've got a Symmetra. Just run at them, hold left click. The TP is simply to turn attention. Joshin has no intention of going through that TP. Once he can do, he just walked up onto Orisa for free. You saw how quickly Elemental died.
That's true. We see the matching Kitsune rushes coming out. Deadeye from Miku trying to hold a little bit longer, but neither are able to find the value they're looking for. Seeing if they can get some damage in here. There's Joshin able to get the follow-up with Feed Stacker as we see the TP and turrets going through. They're pushing it all the way to the choke doors here. Spooky with the double kill as we pass the halfway mark.
Yeah, Josh and Spooky and Feed look so good on this map 1 in particular. Just now that Spooky has the shield perk as well, that normally terrible matchup as Zarya becomes playable because of the shield perk. You're not the most mobile, but you don't need to be the most mobile because you're trying to stand your ground. Why did you have a Symmetra next to you all of a sudden? That combo, the Sim just helps negate so much. This character's so broken, I've been saying it for months now, Jack. It's so good.
Yeah, well, we got 1 ultimate to 2 right now as we see the sound barrier coming in early. Also, with the rush to go ahead and take out the secondary beat. Sixth Kingdom trying to push in, but that beat just saving the day from Grunt as they go ahead and hold the line. Gob able to take down Joshin, but it's not enough to hold that point as we head into possibly last fight territory. We might be able to see Mustard touch here, but I don't think it's going to do much. They get speared right in the face.
There you go.
That, folks, is going to be map number 1, Demonetized, taking Lijiang Tower 2-0.
There you go. So they really didn't care about the 3-1 record that Sixth Kingdom had. Demonetized looks very planned on that. Just a 200 to about 13%. Sixth Kingdom won about 1 fight. There's a whole map. There's Elemental gets booped there. They trade Spooky, but Feed just is in now, right? So they can put all the mechanics down. Enough shots on Mustard. As we said, great swing on to Gob there. As you saw the play of the game, I believe. But Demonetized, really impressive. Map 1, because of the adjustments that they made. I don't think their team fighting was particularly like, oh my god, wow, I felt such high level macro, right, Captain Jack? But like, they play a comp that says, okay, Sixth Kingdom are trying to just run into us in a straight line as a 5-stack and crash into us with counter picks. We're going to space, distance. The Sim is going to help win the frontline war. We're going to try and punish the lack of sustain with the Lucio and Kiriko that can sometimes be possible. It's obviously the highest healing combo in the world. But oftentimes, Lucio comps in this elo, I feel like, they can use the speed boost to crash into the enemy team. And then you get into the fight, and it's like, okay, now your Lucio is down amp, and your team are in melee range of their team. So your Lucio is like low-key useless. All you've done is speed yourself into the fight to die faster.
Yeah, ideally you would want to save that amp for either being able to amp up healing while you're in the midst of the fight, or using it to get out of the fight after you have already engaged. Taking a look at the scoreboard for the teams, I mean, it is deadly there. Josh and Feedstacker hitting the 19 and 20 elimination marks there, and Spooky as well, actually hitting the 19 and 1. It's just looking dangerous right now based on how these teams are playing. Demonetized, they knew that Six Kingdom had a good record going into this on this map, and they wanted to show that they really did do their studying. So I think what I would love to see, though, from Six Kingdom is a little bit of flexibility. I was noting all the little symbols there at the bottom, so you know they got some flexibility, and especially if they're going to play grouped up like that. Why don't we see a little bit of Junkrat? Why don't we see a little bit of Bastion? You know, I know that once you get higher up in the elos, that's frowned upon. It's not skill based. They're characters in the game, folks. That's what I do in my comp games for sure. So, you know, mix it up a little bit, put them on their back foot. You know, not being able to figure out necessarily how to respond in the moment. It might be able to give you an edge that you're looking for, but needless to say, map 1 is already done. Going to Demonetized. As we head into map 2, it is going to be hybrid. Looks like King's Row has been chosen, but who has chosen it? Because it is up to Six Kingdom whether or not they choose next map or they choose to get first ban.
Six Kingdom, I'd be surprised if they chose it, but also not. But the issue is that if Six Kingdom have chosen this map, then okay, so they take Farah away. Again, Farah ban on King's Row. It's like, well, it's not the worst thing in the world, because Farah can be pretty good on this map. You take away Joshin's best character. But again, we're in a world where Symmetra was open for Six Kingdom last game, and we saw in about 2 fights how much value it was able to get for the side of Demonetized. And now Joshin has that in the wheelhouse. We're going to the Brawl map. Six Kingdom get the first ban, and they choose not to ban Reinhardt.
Yeah, that is an interesting choice
What is our answer for Reinhardt on King's Row? You've taken out the Farah, which is good. Tracer is now back open. I'd imagine they still put Fimi back in here, who's got a monstrous Freya on them. Demonetized now can't ban the Freya as well, to be fair. But again, I am slowly starting to piece together the ideas for Six Kingdom, but it definitely feels like it's almost like it's the second thing I would have done rather than the first instinctual ban, which sometimes can be a good thing, because you go for the obvious and you think surely your opponents are going to prepare for King's Row without Reinhardt, right? So sometimes the plan B ban can be just as good as the plan A, because your opponents haven't prepped for it. That's a Kiriko ban, so that means Anna is going to be open for 5 this month.
Yeah, I was a little interested in Demonetized picking the Kiriko, but that definitely makes sense if 5 is more comfortable on the Ana. They just had a big Kiriko last map, so I guess I'm a little surprised by it, but you know, getting that cleanse off of the table means those sleeps and anti-nades are good for the pickings. So as we head into King's Row, I guess my question, as you were kind of mentioning, you know, ideally you want to get those tank fans in, but you know, maybe Six Kingdom is more worried about the damage that can be done by the DPS of Demonetized and want to try to clip their wings, so to speak. So let's see how that works out for them as we head into King's Row.
I've actually just been notified because I didn't look at the channel or the availability. Fimi is not in the VC, who is their sort of mainstay flex DPS, and we're talking to you about before match, like that big Freya player for them. So that means Miku's going to be in. So Tracer is open, but they're going to be seeing Miku and Marge all evening. And I think it's fair to say that Fimi has been probably their most consistent DPS this season. So that's a huge loss for Six Kingdom, I think. Absolutely massive, particularly because of how good his Freya is, which is not something that Mika and Marge can pick up, and just provides them so much. Sometimes you just need like triggers for your team to play, right? Like a Freya Bolt will help make the dive infinitely easier. It's a hero with instant attack potential. So losing Timmy, it's going to have to force Sixth Kingdom to improvise. I imagine they won't have too many maps this season without Timmy in a map like this. So let's see it. Sixth Kingdom playing a pretty standard comp. Marge is going to take over the hit standard. We've got Miku on the Tracer, Demonetized. Baptiste instead of Anna is interesting, but Fives is equally as good on this type. I played against it myself in the lobby too many times. People forget how much damage Baptiste can do, Captain Jack, by the way. I'm going to say average 10 minutes. I'm going to say 6.5 to 7k damage for Fives. Let's check it after the map and see if I'm right. Let's keep a tab on for that, please. Thank you, Prod.
Yeah, unfortunately, too many Smurfs in my comp lobbies. I know exactly how much damage Baptiste can do over 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and see how things shake out as we see Gob. Ori getting in a couple of pot shots there on Spooky, but that shield is indeed full and ready to go. There's no way they're going to be able to just push right on in there. Spooky taking Madge of the fight very early on as Jagora is able to go ahead and trade out with Feed Stacker, having to use the jet to try to get out of there, but immediately gets demeched and taken out by Fives. That's going to go ahead and end the push there as we see Spooky trying to get that final pin, but going to be unsuccessful as Madge is back in the fight.
By the way, I don't know if it was too intentional or not, but if you're demonetized, you should just never kill Jagora there, by the way. Just leave him in baby form. It wastes so much time. You have a Ryan shield, you have hard cover. It means Jagora's got to waste another 20 seconds. And if he dare do that again, if he dares stagger like that again, then they lose the team fight, because 40 seconds is about the time it takes for a regroup, fight plan, pre-fight, and an actual fight to conflict resolve as well. Marge, damn, just getting split. They are not peeling for this Bastion on the rotate. This was, as I said, this was less than 40 seconds, by the way. Sorry, Captain Jack, I completely overtalked this fight. My fault, King.
No, hey, that's it. You were complete. You were breaking it down, and that's exactly what needed to be done. I think exactly as
so quick.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, Madge isn't moving with the rest of the team. The rest of the team was on high ground for the most part, and just got Madge on the low ground trying to punch in damage. Jagora now separated from the rest of the team, trying to utilize that to their advantage, but without a tank to push in with, it's going to be hard for them to do. Madge able to find Feed Stacker. That's going to go ahead and open things up, but we got the Amp Matrix out. They're pushing through to try to hold everything together. The objective, a tick gone, but the fight is not over as we see the swinging coming in. Madge able to hold on. Taken out in the back line. Madge traded. And that is going to be it for this fight, it seems. Oh no! Jagora going to get taken out. Going to use the bomb before the remake. The shatter comes out.
How does that shatter go?
Not able to get Jagora, but does get Gob. But it's too late right now. 200% or 200 health on that shield, and they're gonna have to pull back there. Thank God the investment of the sound barrier, but it's gonna go away quick. Down by Jagora without even a second thought. And I think this is going to be fight for Sixth Kingdom if Demonetized can't figure out a way to push back in.
This fight is a quiet Jagora D.Va masterclass, by the way. Basically demonstrates every single powerful thing that D.Va can do. Starts the fight behind the back line, almost trades his entire team because of it, but pushes Feed Stacker out on the off angle by himself, then kills him, then DMs all the heals to get Spooky to low HP, then goes and clears the Reaper, then goes and clears the Baptiste, then gets back in mech and helps win the fight on point. Sixth Kingdom had so much going on, it was messy, it was scrappy, but their tank, all reliable. Jagora holds it down. Really big fight from him on tank.
Yeah, very good job here. Like you were saying, I was a little concerned that the tank was not given the love needed. As we see Joshin in the backline finds the double kill. We do see the overclock and I believe the nano invested onto Madge. And that is going to go ahead and end that fight. Sixth Kingdom starting that payload push.
Yeah, and they do well. The same thing that they were sort of falling down for in map 1, which is the overextension, the overpushing. Demonetized have now done 2 fights in a row. Spooky gets sound barrier and forgets that that's a decaying HP barrier. Charges into the enemy team. By the time it expires, 1 HP. This fight again goes into deep 1 HP. But
go ahead and see Dragon Blade coming in for Miku. Finds 1, finds 2. Looking for the cleanup. Can't get over it. Big hammer. Stronger than small.
Wait,
as we see Immortality Field gets taken down by the Bob. A Gob able to go ahead and get the trade there, as we see Jagora pulling back to the rest of the team to go ahead and get some heals, seeing if they can separate out Spooky from Joshin. Right now they're holding on. Sound barrier back online for Muster. Grunt is actually struggling right now. 70% for their sound barrier.
And it's perfect, right? Because that means the Sixth Kingdom are ending the fights quickly and not taking, not giving too much poke over, going for much harder hits. Jagora, though, might lose mech here, but this is going to be so much ult charge for Gob. Even though he dies, you've got a minute or so to trade it back. Jagora cannot lose mech here. If they think it's winnable, though, that's a good hit. And they're going to fight this, I guess. Nano Diva, maybe? Can we nano the Diva?
No, German, take a nap. It's not time for it's not date night. You don't get to go ahead and advance on me. As we go ahead and see Jagora going ahead and getting the nano once again, pushing on in. Shatter able to find one. The Blossom in the tunnels able to find Gob, and the cleanup is indeed there. Demonetized holding the line for that. Oh, okay. Interesting use of the beat. Didn't really need it at that moment, but
I think so.
It will go ahead and push. We'll go ahead and push Miku back for the moment. 30 seconds remaining on the clock.
Yeah, I think the use of the beat is obviously a little bit like too premature, shall I say? But Grunt sees a situation where 3v2 and his team are split, and Joshin was actively pushing someone with cooldown, so the sound barrier just ensures that the Reaper can clear the Ana effectively. But now it's final fight, you don't have that sound barrier, and we've got sound barrier and Blade coming up. So Miku did well with the Blade last time. She's got to go one better this time.
Well, the great thing is that we see the sound barrier coming out, allowing them to push in. Miku finds one, looking for the follow-up. Both supports are out of the fight as we see the cleanup here, looking to see if they can get Beat Stacker. There it is. This is a 2v5 right now. 1-0 team kill coming out for Sixth Kingdom as they secure objective Bravo and add 130 back to the clock.
It's been a great Genji map from Miku so far since they swapped onto the character again. Not something that I think they would say that they're known for, but playing it with all the confidence in the world. Super clutch Blade, go straight for the Baptiste, knowing that, hey, basically you can cut the lamp and the Baptiste at the same time. So that Immortality Field, basically not, basically useless. It's forced a sim swap over as well, because Jagora and Miku are just doing too much on the side of Sixth Kingdom. So Demonetized had a pretty decent hold to start with, and all of a sudden that streaks phase really fell apart for them. But just a minute left for Sixth Kingdom.
Go ahead and see the overclock come out, looking for those opening picks. The Diva is just eating the heck out of every single one of those shots coming out. Anti-nade comes out, bomb to trade. As the DMAC was coming in for Jagora. Miku falling incredibly low as we see Spooky taken out of the fight. A tank traded for support might be enough for them to continue pushing on forward as we see Grunt and Joshin taken out of the fight. We're heading into final fight territory as we near objective Charlie.
And Miku's death at the end there might end up being really costly, which is a shame. She's had a fantastic map so far. Jagora and Miku, the aggression that these two have put in, really forced to monetize onto the back foot. Fives' window is good. With 10 seconds left, it might be a bit premature. Both support ults coming up for Sixth Kingdom now. Mustard is prepared to touch. If he can do it on 3, leave. But no, Gob dies. They don't get the nano. Do they just get it off? I'm not even sure if it went off. Oh, it did.
It did go off. They get the sound barrier off as well, but Joshin out on the Tracer now ends up getting the double kill, and Jagora gets shoved over the side. Spooky says, my hammer doesn't care what your mech is able to do, and despite Miku being able to touch objective, the 4v1 was not going to happen. A little bit of tinnitus for the Genji player as they go ahead and lock in at the 59-meter mark.
Yeah, and it's very holdable for Sixth Kingdom. They shouldn't be too upset with that push. The Reinhardt in the end, it's King's Row third. You have to touch the objective. Rips the Shatter at perfect time. Just sees them all lined up. Likely going for the pre-fight. And drops that Earth Shatter. Perfectly stuns the Ana. The target. They managed to get the nano off, to be fair, does drop, but you need the Ana alive in that fight. Sleep darts, healing, etc., etc. You would have been pretty safe. Otherwise, because of the pressure that the Diva and the Genji were doing. But we were seeing it. Like, look at the kill leads, right? Jagora and Miku, 19-3, 17-5. Marge only 10-6. And what this shows is that Jagora and Miku are really trying to play that 1-2 punch game, going for those aggressive dives. I think that was a fantastic Genji round for Miku of Six Kingdom, and it just gave them a real lifeline in this map. Demonetized now get a chance to respond. I wonder if Joshua will go over to that Symmetra that we saw right at the end a little bit earlier once he sees the same comp that Sixth Kingdom are on here. I will say Demonetized comp probably a bit better on attack, and Reinhardt is just generally quite hard to nudge off the payload, and Sixth Kingdom, one of the pitfalls there, because their time bank ultimately ended up not being on their side, because they were trying to fight around the payload, away from the payload, which meant it wasn't moving, which meant they weren't moving the cart and winning the fight. They won the fight, then they moved the cart, which naturally, of course, is going to drain your time bank. So Demonetized, the feed stacker Hanzo, he's feeling lucky, I guess. Let's go gambling, shall we?
Well, you know, the log thrower does cometh here. Let's see if it's enough for them to be able to hold it all together as we already see the venture of Miku looking for that opportunity, but Grunt pushing him back. And it looks like this is looking a little bit like struggle bus. The logs go to the top row looking for Madge. And this is going to be first point, or first tick on the objective. Sixth Kingdom not certain what to do here as we see the fire strike and the sonic arrow. Finding Gob and Madge. Jagora just gonna go ahead and get out of here. That's objective alpha. 5 minutes gonna be on that clock as the payload starts moving.
And now this is when Reinhardt can really dominate the street phase. It's perfect for him. And Demonetized, they just win that so effortlessly. Miku goes in, overcommits, no cooldowns, no DM, no speed boost out. Just the venture going in a bit too early without receiving support from the tank or really anyone. And then it's a fire strike from Spooky onto Gob, who goes for a nade and perfectly times it, and then it's a random Hanzo headshot with the sonic arrow. So Sixth Kingdom, just a couple of mistakes, and all of a sudden you can really feel the tempo start to swing for Demonetized. And remember, they only need to push to pretty much the end, just before the end of third point, so it's not looking good for them.
Well, they are able to get the initial pick on the feed stacker. Mustard gets traded out though by fives. That's what unfortunate fives. Miku able to get the trade there with the deflect. But Spooky holding their own down to 200, anti-nated for the moment, but still holding it up. That blue rectangle keeping them alive as we see Jagora and the rest of the team pulling back.
This Reinhardt character in Overwatch 2 is so good. Your Earth Shatter is a free fight win. You do so much damage with the swings. You've got a 911 1k HP shield, 700 HP. You're so hard to kill. If you use cooldowns on the Reinhardt, the rest of your team don't take them. Marge dies on the off angle. And now Sixth Kingdom, they get to Dragon Strike clear and just push hard.
Dragon Strike gets one, they get a trade for a second. Self-destruct comes out to try to get the Remac, takes down Immortality. But again, it's just not enough. Oh, wait. No, we see Jagora with the return, takes fives out of the fight, but the D-Mech comes out once again.
Miku.
Thanks to Feed Stacker. Miku, big on the reflex today, as we see, but Spooky's hammer is dangerous.
Unfortunately, I think Miku needs to just live there and try and link up with their Ana, go through that high ground there that you saw them, and just get the blade for the recontest. They did an excellent job, though. This was a fight that it looks like it was going to be a 5-0 complete wipe. Sixth Kingdom were going to have everyone prepared for this touch. Now, Sixth Kingdom might get someone to just touch the payload in time and then get a fight from there.
Matt just barely.
Oh my god, it's too off.
The triple kill.
Oh my god.
Kill, saying anything you can do, I can do better.
Oh,
Bravo's captured.
Captain Jack, it's like we're watching year 23 LeBron James and he's still winning playoff series. He's still, we're in 2026 and Reinhardt is still doing it. Spooky is still out here just doing unbelievable plays on that Reinhardt. This character is timeless, it's vintage. And oh my god, it's tilted. Such a momentum swinger for Demonetized. I think they're in prime position to win the map now with 4 minutes. Sixth Kingdom, look, Marge is on Torbjorn. They're just so scrambled trying to beat this Reinhardt. They just can't.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to do everything that they can. I do like seeing the Muramatra come out, but Feed Stacker just deletes Jagora once again. Mustard has the beat online, but it's currently getting chased down by both Joshin and Grunt. There's just nothing that they can do. Another Dragon Strike out as we see the touch coming in for Madge, or Miku rather. Blossom coming out, trying to create a little bit of space. Spooky able to find Mustard. Low
Drop the hammer.
once again on the Miku. Shatter coming out the charge, the pin, and that is the objective. Six Kingdom tied up the series on King's Row. What?
Nope.
Or Demonetized, rather. What? Why cannot count tonight? Demonetized taking it in return 2-0.
Yes, it looked like a very strong position for Six Kingdom, but this play of the game, as you can see, like it's I can't believe that this charge mechanic is a thing. By the way, like what is that?
My
like
favorite.
what the fuck is that? By the way, like what's going on there? Like. Holy, this Reinhardt character, bro, endlessly silly. And Demonetized now, match point. Do they go for the 3-0 sweep? Spooky, still doing it on the Reinhardt. Again, I think some individual members of Sixth Kingdom had like a really good map. I think Jadora and Miku had really good moments. Like Miku in some of these fights is just pulling water. Like pulling water from stones. They're pulling wine from water. They're pulling... You know, they're digging up money from the ground. Like, it's just so much value. Even in the fights where they die late, it's like, well, you can't really blame them for dying late because they killed like 3 in the fight anyway. Sixth Kingdom can just never stabilize. They never quite get 2 feet in the door. They get 1 foot in the door and then Demonetized say, sorry, you're trespassing. Here's an ultimate. Here's a Ryan boop off the map. Here's some random fuck-ass interaction. And I'll see you out of King's Row. Honestly, I need to make sure that I'm not in the ganja pit, Captain Jack, because there's so many things that happened in that map. Like, do you remember the Earth Shatter on Gob from like 4 postcodes away? Like, what's going on there? Like,
I mean,
this map was a fever dream, Captain Jack. Take us to a break. Go on, do the outro before I shoot off like a rocket. Oh my god!
I mean, at the end of the day, it literally comes down to. Ryan has always been strong on King's Row, and even as a Reinhardt player myself, you can try to counter me all you want. Sometimes you just can't miss with that swing and hammer. We're going to be heading to a short break here. Give Six Kingdom a little bit of time to see if they can reconstitute and come back for the second half. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Bad Pachimari League Season 8 in just a few moments.
Hello, welcome back to BPL. This is the main channel. This is our C League. This is our play-in game. One of these teams will be going home should they lose here today. This is the first to three. You know what that means, Captain Jack? Sixth Kingdom, their tournament is on the line. Have you ever played Overwatch with your BPL tournament life on the line? Sixth Kingdom, they're going to have to lock in and go 3 straight back-to-back against map picks, against first ban options, on 3 modes that can be very snowbally. Big man thing, yeah? It's not looking good, bruv.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Jace. And, looking at their chances, the percentage isn't high, but it's not impossible, right? They got a little break. They were able to take some downtime, really kind of get that mental fortitude back up, especially if you've taken an 0-2 at the very beginning of the match. It can be really hard on the mental, and as we know, as much as the mechanics are important, the mental health is good too. So as we head into push, I'm intrigued to see how things shift for Sixth Kingdom, to see if they're able to find some way to balance things out. Obviously, not everything's going their way right now, and it looks like scheduling is keeping one of their strong DPS players off of the table. So they got to find a way around Demonetized. They were able to do it in the in the preseason. Let's see if they can do it here as we head into push. Looking at their records thus far, at least based on what was submitted, it seems a little spread across the board. I mean, push definitely going to demonetize more times than not, but based on what you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Jace, Sixth Kingdom had the harder pool of teams to go against in the C League. So, I mean, yeah, they lost, but that doesn't really impact whether or not their knowledge of those maps might be able to work into their favor.
I also think that they probably want map pick, because otherwise they're just going to pick another Reinhardt map. You could let them pick a map and then ban Reinhardt. I think you actually kind of have to do that, to be fair.
True.
Because then you've got to see what they're going on. But even then, it allows them to play a brawl map. Can you play... The question here for Sixth Kingdom now is, can you take them to a map where Reinhardt isn't as good and abuse the fact that they can't play Reinhardt? Like, ban Lucio, play a ball or a diva comp on, like, New Queen Street, for example, and just force the Reinhardt to sit cart and never swing at anything and just be a fire strike shield should. And then when he is doing that, tell the rest of his team and hope that he doesn't cap the full map in time. As we said earlier, Sixth Kingdom, they were winning fights on King's Row, but ultimately the time bank let them down in the end, because Demonetized were just able to use Spooky to stack on the objective. There were fights that Demonetized weren't really winning, but guess what? They were advancing the car. When the flip side came around, Sixth Kingdom had those similar fights on their attack. Well, guess what? When they were fighting, they weren't moving the car at the same time. And that, I think, was such a big difference.
Yeah, and this is going to be even stronger here on push, because that push bot is able to regain ground so quickly once the fight is over, going between pylon to pylon. So I'm intrigued to see if we don't see Six Kingdom's other tank come back into the fight. Maybe see a Rhine v Rhine matchup, see if that's good enough to be able to hold things together. Or if we go with this diva composition, like you said, the goal is to take Reinhardt out of the equation. It's good to get the squishies, that's great. But if you still got the big German guy pushing along with the bot, then you're really not stopping what makes the game the game. The same team deathmatch, you gotta stop that objective.
Yeah, and the reason that I focus on so much is, just don't get me wrong, there are 4 other players for the side of the Reinhardt. Arguably, by the way, all of them had better maps than the Reinhardt. I think the Reinhardt and KR actually wasn't the most effective. Wasn't a big reason that they won. Offered a couple of clutch shatters and a clutch charge, but it's just that constant pressure, that constant frontline pressure. And historically, I'm going to say it, the way to beat teams with Spooky on, when he's playing the majority of the minutes, is to beat Reinhardt, is to play anti-Reinhardt comps. Go and check the records. I've done it. My teams have done it in C League. It happens. Esperanza. This is most likely the pick of Sixth Kingdom, and I like it. You would think, hopefully for them, I think you have to play for the reverse sweep, So you can't ban Reinhardt here, even if it's open, because what you want to do is let them pick Flashpoint and then ban Reinhardt. Ooh, we banned Reinhardt on S. But the thing is, though, is now Reinhardt is open for the rest of the series, and our next mode is Flashpoint, and Reinhardt, I think, is really good on Flashpoint.
Yeah,
so,
that's. I mean, I'm agreeing with you, right? Like, Esperanza has so many different high grounds that they can take advantage of that is able to keep them out of range of Rein and be effective against the rest of his team.
The poke map.
And to then also ban Rein on that same map. Like, they're really they do have to secure the win here, right? Like, they can't.
Yes, they do. Yes, I agree.
So I guess I kind of get it.
Yes, I get it. Yeah.
You're putting all your eggs in one basket.
I think it's tough because you have to go into Flashpoint. If you win the map, obviously if you lose the map, you don't think about that. But if you win the map, and then you go into Flashpoint where Demonetized. I guess if you win the map, Demonetized could potentially just take the first ban instead and protect ban Reinhardt.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a thing. Did Sixth Kingdom take first ban here instead, actually? Can we get, because Sixth Kingdom's ban actually did come in first, I've just realised. You don't get first, or when you lose the map, you don't get first pick of ban, and you don't get first pick of ban and map selection. So Sixth Kingdom you do?
I think that's a playoff thing.
For some reason, I thought it was.
I was wrong.
For some reason, I thought it was
the last map.
Yeah, for some reason, I thought. Oh, I didn't. Okay, fair. For some reason, I thought that the losing team didn't get to first ban and pick map. That just seemed too OP.
Yeah.
But either way, so
they kind of need it right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so I guess ignore all that other stuff. But even still, you pick a map where Reinhardt isn't as good, and then you take away. You maybe ban something else that would help support a Reinhardt, but like ideally you want them to play Reinhardt, so the map's not the best. Then you go to Flashpoint. Obviously, if you lose, series over. But then I guess if you lose the map, then they Demonetized could potentially ban a tank so that Reinhardt can't be banned on that Flashpoint map. So I guess it's like initially I went, you shouldn't ban Reinhardt here, but after remembering and realizing by the way, I just didn't realize this is how it worked in playoffs. Sorry chat, sorry guys. But after realizing that you get first ban and map pick when you lose the ban, I think Reinhardt is the correct choice. Jack, I think your reasoning, if you got to take it to a map win. Yes, I think so. Yeah. Because if you lose the map, say Demonetized, there's no way Demonetized let you ban Reinhardt on Flashpoint, right? There's no way. That would be so int. You can't assume they're going to do that, right? It'd be a complete blunder.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, they made the best with what they've got.
Yeah, I agree.
As we look at swaps, I'm actually a little surprised we didn't see Jagora coming back in or getting traded out. Actually, we're seeing EP coming in for Feed. So Feed been pretty strong thus far. I'm interested to see how EP kind of fills in with this being their first match of the evening.
Yes, of course, it's elimination match, right? So that forces the required playtime rule, which means if he is available and he has to come in. Has been on the bench for 2 maps, so might not be the warmest. Is on an old head character as well. Ippy, one of our longer storied names in BPL, going to have a tough time going up against Emre and Diva this map. Miku, Trace is open, back on her comfort character.
All right, as we go ahead and see 2% Ore for Demonetized as they're using that Ramatra to kind of hold space here. Jagora, though, with the rest of the team just kind of struggling around as we see the DMAC coming in. EP getting taken out by Miku, but with Jagora down, the tank is kind of free to pick. Jagora does take out Grunt in trade, which is interesting. And that payload's going to start moving as we see Jagora back into mech.
And Jag back in mech, by the way, feels illegal. Took so much damage, God wasn't able to heal them up in time. This was a big ego, big confidence fight win for Miku and Marge there with the Emre and the Tracer, just sort of running and saying, hey, we're going to do more damage than you guys. Joshin on the Trace, on the Genji, wasn't really able to get too much going there. And Farah is open, but you're never going to pick it when the Diva is here. So Sixth Kingdom, one of the first times I think all series where they've got a real lead in a map.
Yeah, we do see Pulse Bomb getting ready to come online for Miku, Joshin. Does have the blade coming pretty close to online as well. As we go ahead and see the rotations coming in, Joshin heads to the high ground, Madge with the trade onto Grunt. 1-for-1 right now. The Six Kingdoms looking to continue this push forward. Spooky on the high ground, just trying to see if they can hold space, but everybody is just moving around them so quickly, having to use the shield just to be able to get Bomb out of the fight, but it's not going to have that Nemesis form just yet, as we see Ore down to half health. Override protocol engaged as we go ahead and see Emre taking to the sky. Madge looking for those shots, but honestly just using it to create more space as Epi is taken out of the backline. Joshin with the trade. Spooky finds the double kill in the Kitsune rush, and we're going to see the quick D-Mech and elimination of Jagora, and that's going to be a cleanup and a little tactical crouching there for Joshin. I wouldn't be bragging too much, buddy. You're not going to be getting that much of a lead here.
Yeah, they're going to get probably a 10 or so meter lead. They'll come back quick, but for the first real time the team gets to maybe push it even a little bit in the series, a lot of back and forward. Six Kingdom do have Kiri Rush to go in, but I think that Remarch Ultimate plus beat should just be too much for Demonetized in this fight if they can use them in tandem.
We will see how it works out. Tactical Visor coming out for EP, trying to create some space here. Sound Barrier now invested by Grunt. As we go ahead and see the Ravenous Vortex able to bring Mustard to the ground, but not able to solidify the kill. Miku finds a double kill onto Fives and EP, and not even having to use the Annihilation form. Oh no! The cleanup comes in return as Six Kingdom able to take the bot back into their favor.
Yeah, one thing you're noticing so far is the longer these fights are going on, the better Six Kingdom are doing, because Jagora is just sort of playing almost like as Siegel wants to describe D.Va, a fat Genji. They've got a 3-2 split, but it's your tank that's splitting almost on the off angle. Jagora's whole job here is to just play like a big DPS and hunt down the squishy targets of Demonetized. They are the head of the spear, and they are going for the killing blow every single time. Miku unfortunately falls in the 1v1, but Jagora's still alive in this fight for now.
Ravenous Vortex back out once again. Mustard doing everything to sustain immediately. It's not, but you're able to get a pick off of it. That might just be enough, and the bot's back in your control as they head back into the Nemesis form to try to give themselves a little bit more speed. Jagora is there in the back line. Bot currently stalled out here at the bridge. Not going to be enough to be able to hold that line just yet. Spooky having a really hard time pushing up onto that high ground as we see the Dragon Blade coming out from Joshin, looking for those follow-up eliminations and just cannot quite find purchase at the end of the day. This is rough.
It's such a long team fight. Yeah, but it's such a long team fight. Both of these teams are playing so cautious. They're not wanting to overextend. Joshin gets the dash, but really decides to leave afterwards. It's Justinia Rush now mirrored to Demonetized. I think they've got the better one. Sound Barrier doesn't come in. Yes, it does. The March takes the skies. Let's see that turret fly. What is the overload got in store for us?
As we see the override protocol come out. Gob, finally the first one to fall here as we see the D-Mech coming in onto Jagora. The cleanup coming in from Demonetized here in the final moments is going to allow them to keep pushing that payload.
This is perfect, right? Demonetized this time, playing out the long fight. Spooky and Joshin just kind of living, I think, forever. I'm interested to see how much damage Fives did in that fight, because I believe it was quite a lot. I think they lived throughout most of that exchange, and this is where it can be a potential real slow nail in the coffin. The first nail has been put into it for Six Kingdom. Joshin.
Unfortunate, Joshin. I can't tell you how many times I've been there playing competitive myself. Is that you, especially recently, because they've been switching which perk is on which side, and it's been really annoying. The Pulse Bomb does find Grunt, but the Tac Visor cleans up the field, and right now Demonetized are creating quite a gap between them and Six Kingdom.
Yeah, and this soldier from Ippy, it's sort of what one of my friends would describe as rage bait soldier, where you're just forcing attention. Attention is a resource. You're not really aiming to be the most efficient on the off angle. You're going by yourself, but you're just forcing a head turn so your team can walk up for free. Sixth Kingdom, they're getting a little bit over-aggressive in some of these fights, a little bit split. Look, Gob in the backline, she's got no safety P-target because Mustard moves too far forward. So your Chibi just dies. Once your Chibi's dead, your sustain is gone, and it's so hard to play.
Mustard investing the sound barrier against the Annihilation. Miku does get taken down in the final moments, and is going to be the bomb that takes out Spooky, but not before Jagora gets taken down. We're probably going to be seeing Demonetized pull back here in just a moment.
I think they can leave, or it's an illegal kill onto Marge. I think, yeah, again, a Sixth Kingdom member just overforces. It's been a story of the series, I think, Jack. Just individual mistakes in these key moments from Sixth Kingdom members. Over pushing too far, getting caught, losing the 1v1. And it's disastrous because Demonetized now have got such a lead. And they just keep trying to find wins. There's so many fights, these aren't neutral fights. They're just like 5v4 advantages permanently. It's so illegal. Demonetized. They just keep finding pick after pick in these fights. Sixth Kingdom, as I said, they just never have the numbers advantage, like never.
Yeah, I think that's just a rough position for them to be in, and now we're heading into final fight territory. 2 minutes still on the clock. They still have the capability of being able to hold it all together. Jagora is all the way in the back line trying to find purchase, but Demonetized is just not giving them any order right now, and it's going to be up to Gob sending out the Kitsune Rush, hoping that that's enough. Front coming in with the sound barrier to try to counter out and be able to provide a little bit of extra support. Epi and Joshin finding the double. Miku with the trade.
Oh, there we go.
Too little, too late. There's just not enough that they can do. Able to take Grunt out of the back end, but they can't touch in the 3v1 as the Tracer flies. Demonetized, taking the 3-0 of the C tier play-ins and going on to face Seed 1 next match.
Yeah, they're going to get another crack at free fall, I believe, as well. Demonetized, really consistent in this series, just played the more stable Overwatch. Yeah, Mustard was playing from a PC cafe, so did everything to try and attend this game. Got to give him credit. But in the end, I just think Sixth Kingdom looked so scattered in their gameplay, and Demonetized just turned up and played the more solid Overwatch. They punished the mistakes that they were seeing, and they weren't really answered on a lot of things that they were doing. Congratulations to Demonetized. They stay alive in BPL Season 8, but for Sixth Kingdom, that's going to be it. We will get an exit interview with them. I believe we're going to take 2 or 3 members from them. But yeah, tough series, I think, for Sixth Kingdom to go down in. That's going to be it for them this season. Sorry, I'm gonna speak with producers. Sorry, Jack, take over a second.
Okay,
I'm just gonna deal with the interviews.
All right. Well, as you can see, folks, as we go ahead and look at the bracket for our playoffs, still got one play-in remaining there on the other side of the bracket. Pachimari versus Knights of Ravon. Winner of that will move on to face Elvish Soul Knife. And it looks like that's going to be our Saturday and Sunday night matchup. So be sure to be keeping an eye out for those. Taking a look in the chat. Not Ken is rich. Getting those channel points in 338.1 thousand.
Wow.
In the chat.
Ken betting on the downfall.
Goodness.
Ken betting on the downfall of his good friend Marge. We'll be saying, I'm sorry you lost, King. Never mind my fat stack of riches on the side there. I'm really sorry you lost. But I did have you at 10-1 odds to lose, so that was a free win. Big payday cash out. But we've been told it's actually okay to send the whole team up. I know sometimes just the VCs can get a little bit messy. Captain Jack, any final thoughts before we get the exit interviewers in?
I'm just glad to be back. I don't know for folks that have been following me. I've been kind of out of the scene for a bit, and I've been dealing with some long-term illness that I've been slowly recovering from. So I'm just thankful for the folks here at BPL giving me the chance to come back, test the pipe, see if I still got it. So let me know in the chat if you think I still got it. I appreciate it. I know I'm old fogey at this point when it comes to Overwatch, but I still love the game. I still love the community.
It's 2026, bro. Like all of us are either like ancient or like 19. Like most of us are ancient. The ones that are still around, that have been around for a while, are ancient because everyone else that grew up left. You know.
Life do be like that sometimes.
It's important that if you've got passion for something, you stay and do it, particularly because community leagues thrive off of passion and people's love for the game. Speaking of people that love the game so much, they signed up in the community league, and now we've got to unfortunately say goodbye to them. Let's get Mustard, Marge, Miku, and Jagora in here for the excellent.
Yo!
Oh boy, bro.
What's up? What's good?
They're calling it the most random join sounds of all time.
Oh my
he's so
God.
fucking nice to me. That shit's tough.
Yeah, that is tough.
That's wild.
Yeah, I guess just for now, I'll just maybe give the floor over to you guys to just have some initial immediate post-match thoughts. So me and Captain Jack can decide on stuff like player MVP and additional questions and shit.
I was low-key trying my dick off. I can't even lie.
I was having fun.
I was fucking screaming in voice, by the way. Not kidding.
Dude, it is so loud in here, like I can barely hear the game. Like I don't know what event they have going on. There's some like people, like I don't know what they're doing over there, genuinely. Like they got a person on a stage on a speaker. Like I don't know what's happening. I paid $30 to play this game just to lose. So
you dead ass paid $30 to get O3. How do you feel, man?
I was here the whole day, so I low-key don't care.
Ooh, hey, that's pretty good. $3 for all day? Heck yeah.
It's not bad. Marge, as captain, I know this was a tough environment for you. I guess how are you feeling now that it's sort of at the end of the train ride?
I think I learned a lot about both drafting and managing.
It's really hard.
It's really hard. There's some things that I didn't expect, some things that like surprised me positively. But yeah, I don't know. I think it was a good experience overall. Yeah, I like my team.
Yeah, I think truthfully, to be fair, I definitely should have done more bit to support you, particularly in the draft. I think some of that draft stuff, I can take responsibility for. Someone that helped you draft, I think that's fair enough, being your first time captain. Jagora, how you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling a lot of things. I think I'm sad. I think I could have played a lot better, especially on the last map.
Yeah.
But like overall, I had fun, and that's what matters.
True.
Always fun with draft leagues. Like, can't complain much.
No cash prize or anything, right? There's no real no real stakes on the line except ego and pride. But I guess just Jack, do you have any questions? I'm just trying to think of one.
No, I think that hopefully everybody here, the great part about leagues like BPL is that you get to take the time to learn and reflect. And Madge, with it being your first season doing it, now you've got the roots planted, you got the knowledge moving forward, that if you team captain in the future, you know kind of what to do. I personally, despite following Bad Pachimari League for quite some time, am not super familiar with the way that y'all do drafts. So that's not really common in the Overwatch community as a whole, doing a draft system. So learning those extra pieces of the puzzle, trying to figure out kind of essentially as traditional sports is, how to spend your points on the best players to work in your favor can definitely be a challenge. But I think y'all did great for what you had on the table. I know that there were some struggles because of scheduling, that some folks couldn't join you here tonight, and that's unfortunate. Again, another issue with draft leagues is that sometimes people aren't there because we just here for the love of the game, and sometimes real life calls. So But I would hope that y'all left your heart out there, and I see it. I could definitely see it.
Yeah. I would say it's really I think the coolest part of being a captain is like having your branding and like seeing that come to life, and then sort of forming a team identity with your draft. You know, like. But what I would recommend to anyone that might be interested in captaining is like if you've never drafted before, either like go and like draft with someone like while they're drafting. Like if your friend is captaining, go like sit with them in their draft, or like try to draft in like a weekend tournament, because it is like quite a commitment to like have your first draft where you don't really know anything, and then have it be like a full like BPL season, like multi-week. So I would just say like it's a great like it's a great thing to be a part of, but you know, just dip your toe in the water first. Try to get some advice about draft like in a weekend event if you can, and then from there see if you want to captain still. But yeah, no, I think overall it's been great. I love the branding. I love all of that. Yeah.
Roku City Kingdom. It's also important to mention regarding draft that even though you may talk to people that have draft experience, they've never drafted from this pool of players before. And ultimately in C League, the draft it's real, and it's also sometimes very fake, because everyone walks away thinking they've got the best roster, and the team that scrims the most plays the most. The team that scrims the most has the best availability is always the team that goes the furthest.
Yeah.
So many teams, as I said, just get together and they improve over time. And I see it in C League every season. A team is completely mid the entire season, and then a patch hits or an attitude flip, and something just clicks, and they become unbeatable. And even with this roster, if they'd have been able to carry on, I'm sure that could have happened as well, because it truly can happen to any team.
Yeah.
So don't feel too bad about that, to be honest. Like you guys, maybe if you go into the lower bracket after winning this game, you can hit the miracle run, because it happens, and it has done many a time before. So
yeah, that's true. I think I always like to tell folks that the regular season is just a snapshot of what teams can do, because most of the time you're just trying to find your footing. You're trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, trying to get to know your opponents too. Like we have a lot of longtime folks that have been in BPL for a long time, but we have a lot of new folks as well. So trying to learn kind of what makes everyone tick is definitely something to think about. So we don't want to take up any more of your time, folks. Y'all did absolutely the best you could and left it all out on the table. So we want to give you a chance to shout anybody out and, you know, thank them for following you along this season.
Thank you guys. I guess any shout outs before you head out, or
my captain tried his hardest, and I respect him for that. But now to anyone watching, do not draft 5 employed chuds. Do not do it. Do not draft 5 employed chuds. You will lose the game.
Yeah.
What you're saying?
I'm deadass the only unemployed one here, by the way.
Into the submission portion when you're looking at.
Oh, Jax, don't say that. You will get a paragraph from Knock on Wood for saying that. Don't even. Yeah. Do not even. Good lord. Good. There is.
Know who the employed folks are around.
No. That is a pipe bomb waiting to be mailed directly. That is. That is.
First day back, already getting pipe bombs. That's crazy, man.
That is that's a bad my bad for, but yeah, it's a whole Twitter longer.
I get it.
As I said, availability is availability.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, that's
Kingdom. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you coming in here, but we're gonna send you on your way so we can go ahead and sign things off for the evening. Get folks going where they're going to.
Bye.
All right, Jace. Well, that is the end of BPL tonight. Demonetized taking the 3-0 over Six Kingdom. They'll be moving on in the future to face off against first seed.
Yes. let's focus up a bit, shall we? After that exit interview. Yeah, so Demonetized, they get to play Freefall, which is quite the present for staying alive. Hey, they get a boxing match with the champs, with the number 1 seed, with the top dogs.
Yeah, I'm interested to see kind of how that shakes out, especially since Freefall hasn't gotten a whole lot of action with them. It's going to be very educational, I would think. So yes. I'm excited to see how things turn out. But of course, there's going to be plenty more matches to come for Saturday and Sunday as well. So folks, be sure to be around at the normal BPL times here at twitch.tv/Bad Pachimari League. I'm Captain Jack. This is Jace. Jace, anything else that you want to talk about or shout out before we go ahead? Oh, yeah, we got to do MVP. I forgot. We did pick an MVP for this evening. Jace, tell me who it is.
It's the Flying Dutchman himself. Joshin, deservedly, had a big game on the flex DPS. Solomon said in A Live, surely we can't be giving it to the Josh and Genji. I think the Farah and the Sim were also good as well. I think he did good enough on the Genji. Shout out Fives for also being pretty solid the whole series, as they said. I'd just like to give a shout out to Josh, and I think he had for me, sometimes it's good to give an MVP to someone that I think overperforms and steps up. I'm not going to say I expect that from Fives, but Fives was good. We knew they were going to be their best player coming in. I think Joshin really stepped up today, and that's why they're my MVP. So
yeah, and especially when you were mentioning earlier in the evening that Joshin's not really known for their Genji, but being able to pull it out and be that kind of flexible player the team needs to be, like that's exactly what you need in a game like Overwatch. So that's why I gave my vote to Joshin as well. So it is what it is, production. Sorry that we disappoint, but we got to go where the hearts and sets tell us. So go ahead and blow up in the chat. You tell us where your MVP was. Do you agree with us? Do you not agree? Let us know as we go ahead. Take a look at the rest of the matches to be going on. It looks like, at least by the fact that there is a score there, I assume that this match is being played right now. Yeah. Not on stream, unfortunately. Oh, okay. I guess it's not being played right now. But as you can see, for tomorrow's matches, we got Pachisuba versus Knights of Ravan starting things off. Chosen versus Goblin Goobers. Echo Knights versus Noble Steed. At 9 p.m. Snowdrop versus Caladrius. And Yatagarasu versus Eternal X. Ending out the night in another C League. Those streams, which one they're going to be on, will be announced tomorrow. If it's not here on the main channel, you're going to be seeing it on BPL 2 or 3 or 4 or however many matches we got tomorrow night that need to be streamed at the same time. So I think now have we gotten to the end of everything? The rest is definitely showing now that I forget exactly what's going on. It looks like what production's telling us. We're heading out for the rest of the evening. So Jace, got anything else to talk about before we head off for the evening?
No, I thank you everyone for putting this on. Commiserations to Sixth Kingdom yet again, but let's get out of here for the evening, because I wonder how many people have already clicked off the broadcast. If you're still here, much love, and we will see you all tomorrow as BPL playoff continues for season 8. See you tomorrow.